for all the hockey info, too, Gildy.
This is South Florida's only real sports station. WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. A Beasley Broadcast Group station. And WQAM.com.
And thanks for stepping up to the plate and being accountable, Mo. Not.
Aiming. Why the hell am I always getting raped by men?
You have a nice back, Mo.
Why, sure, but I don't ever get raped by broads.
Women don't rape men.
That's too bad.
There is such a thing as an attractive man, you know, Mo.
What do you know, you crumb? What are you, some kind of fairy? Why don't you go be another monkey for the organ grinder down the hall?
I'm not a queer.
What do you know about being queer, you moron? I've been raped enough to know the difference.
Sorry, Mo.
Now, see here. We're supposed to be talking about sports here, not about good-looking men. Just men in general and nothing else. This is sports radio over here. We love men. But I got to say, have a bird. Well, just the other night I saw this commercial on overnight TV where this guy was crawling out of the ocean, see? On this island filled with strippers. Now, abroad, they looked okay. But this guy in the commercial, I would say, in an objective sort of way, he was pretty cute. See that? You're laughing. You're laughing. Did I give you clearance to laugh?
Was this for a strip joint, Mo?
Yeah.
And the guy was crawling on the island? You thought he was cute?
Yeah, that's right. Now, you asked me to be objective. I acquiesce, and you still make fun of me. You want to get fired again, huh? That guy there had pinchable jowls. What's so goddamn funny?
That was George.
The organ grinder's monkey?
You know, maybe I am in love with that mango munching stick. He certainly does make a thing on my nose glow like a neon rainbow. Wanting him fired must have been just a reaction to suppress the truth of how I feel. But I can't let anybody know how much I want to enter his place.
Get out of here, all of you. You're all nuts. You're all... Hey, I can't move.
Look at the bulge in your pants, Mo.
Oh, no. If I move the wrong way, I'll...
Hey, everybody. Mo messed his pants.
Open the door, you crumb.
Ow! That hurt, Mo.
9:03 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. Yeah, we have a little bit of a contretemps on our poll from yesterday, you notice? How come I'm hearing that echo?
I don't know.
Oh, no. You got to be joking me. It just went away real fast. As soon as I
Sorry.
said, how come I'm here? That's Carlos again. You know something? 18 strikes and you're out, Carlos. And I think for you that was like number 20 just now. Anyway, look at that 1,237 votes. Man, oh, man. See, you little clowns out there, they like to play the games with our pool. They like to yank our pool and twist our pool and, oh, brother.
Eric loves them. He must be giving them kickbacks.
Yeah, it must be it, because he's making extra money every time they get out there and dick around, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Smallville last night.
Flaming.
It sure was.
Every 5 minutes.
Every time you got a little bit hot under the collar, so to speak, it was everything was burning down.
How do all the air conditioners in town break at the same time, by the way?
I don't know. You just need, and how does Lex Luthor get married like in 5 minutes after finding that teacher, huh?
They must be in Vegas.
That could be it. At any rate, it was pretty exciting last night. Not what we thought it was going to be. They always give you the big build-up, and then there's a letdown. You know, I thought we were going to, actually, at least find out how long it was. But at any rate, and that's what Lana thought, too, and then she was really burned up at the end. She was pissed off and fired up. And poor Chloe, she's squeezing him and grabbing him and yanking. She ain't going to get it. She'll never take a look at it. And next week, did you see the preview at the end?
Of course.
With the spaceship. And the spaceship now looks like about the size of a teacup. It's sitting out there in the middle of a field somewhere, and It's about the size of a teacup, and they find it out in the field. And that creates lots of problems for Clark. Now, that show I was telling you about on A&E 2 nights ago, that 2-hour special about child actors and all that other crap, was a good show. So they did have somebody from the Dukes of Hazzard. I forget who it was. I guess that little punky kid who's still just as ugly as he was back then, only even worse.
Don't know.
But at any rate, so they showed some old clips of Dukes of Hazzard when John Schneider was like, I'm going to tell you seriously, John Schneider looked so good in those clips, even though that could have been one of the worst shows in the history of television. It was so bad I didn't even watch it, even with him on it.
Without a doubt. I couldn't watch it even with
But nevertheless,
Captain Bach.
I bet you Joe Costello watched that show, though, the reruns.
Oh, wow.
Because it's right up his alley. Anything with a car in it, He probably even watched the one with David Hasselhoff. What was that car?
Knight Rider.
Knight Rider, yeah. So anyway, David, what was his name? John Schneider looked so good in those days, he made Tom Welling look like Fat Boy. Looked like the Beast. That's how good John Schneider looked by comparison. He ain't looking too great now, though. You notice this season he's starting to look like really worn and haggard?
No.
Yeah, and I thought he kind of looked like Merle Haggard last night. Anyway, he has a lot of problems there. And what actually happened after she breathed into his puss? You know, we kind of went away when she put that wicked breath into his puss and he was kissing her. I wonder if something happened there.
Squirt, squirt.
But we'll never find out because that would be bad. So anyway, getting back to our poll today, 1,246 votes, of which minimum 200 fakes. And let me tell you right now, right around 8 o'clock last night, 11 o'clock just before I went to bed, I watched them crank into crank votes in chunks. Chunks. And then this morning, from the time I came in here around 6:30 until just recently. So even though it says don't get all panicky when you look at the poll result on your thing, because unfortunately, Mo has to be disqualified. Sorry about that, old Mo. Nice try. All the cranks on there. Of course, it's interesting that he's got them on his side, you know. I think there's something appropriate about that.
Oh, it's not that. It's just anything to be contrary.
Poll question was, who was your favorite Dolphins radio play-by-play announcer of all time? And the real result is, since we're going to deduct those 200 phony votes, I don't give a crap about the Dolphins, 295. Rick Weaver, 253. The Weavermeister wins. Bill Zimford, 209. I don't listen to the games on radio, 173. And when adjusted for 200 crank votes, Mo sucking up behind win with 116. And I think I'm being generous by saying there were 200 crank votes. There was like 130 while we were still on the air yesterday at the end of the show. And boy, you guys, you pump them in there in chunks. You're not smart enough to do it other ways. You just crank them in there in chunks and chunks all over the place. You have to get a mop and clean it up. So anyway, here it is. It's a Wednesday. Now, how come, Muff was just in there. Have you seen Clarence?
No, not yet this morning.
They keep refaxing me these schedules, and they can't get it right still. Because I heard Mo say this morning that Joe Rose, the little dog, was on for the Mad Dog. Why is that? Because Mandich is effing off again today. That'd probably be his reason. And more power to him. Oh! Nice going, Mad Dog. That's the way to do it. And the Humper, it says on here, 3 to 6:30. And then 7 o'clock, we got the Crow and all the other pre-baseball playoff games, which would leave us 6:30 to 7 like naked. See what I'm saying? So I think the Humper's got a full 4-hour show again, 2 days in a row, which is pretty heavy duty. I hope he's taking his vitamins. Here's our poll question today. And, of course, today is October 2nd. Do you realize the election is only just slightly over a month away?
Yes.
If the election were being held today, who would you vote for Florida governor? Now, we did one before where we had Janet Reno in there. Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, she's out. She's out there driving a red pickup around. In fact, she's driving a one at Lana.
I heard she was
almost
still in the closet.
Killed. She's going back in the closet?
No, you said she was out.
Anyway, here's the poll question. If the election were being held today, who would you vote for Florida governor? Bill McBride, Jeb Bush, or I wouldn't vote. Those are the only choices. There's no, and of course we could put Bob Kunst on there too, but we won't. Since he's wasting all that fax paper of yours down there and sending you those faxes. We don't care, Bob. Give it a rest, okay? Stop with the ego trips. Go get an honest job. Before they stick your ass in a pine box, just 1 or 2 days in your life, get an honest job, Bob. You can write it on your resume. They could put it on your tombstone. He worked for a week. Instead of standing on corners giving out bumper stickers and the latest cause celeb of the day. Man, who the hell is this faggot kidding, huh? If the election were being held today, who would you vote for Florida governor? Pretty simple and straightforward and straight up there, Eric. Now, what just happened? Did CNN go off on my thing? Yeah, CNN just disappeared. Well, that's good.
That's everywhere.
What, went out there too?
Yep.
All right, that's an omen.
All right.
Good news. Maybe the mouse just got involved there, huh? Maybe Mickey just shut it off. In fact, next picture probably will pop up. There will be Uncle Remus with the blue
you're looking at right now.
That's
his face.
Yeah, pretty dark. Look at that. They're having serious problems at CNN. Anyway, Bill McBride, Jeb Bush, or I wouldn't vote. Pretty straightforward, like I said, right there, right back at you. And get that other crap off of there as soon as possible, please. Now, the Boca Brian disc did show up yesterday, which is magnificent. It's called Boca Brian Restitution and Mo Bits Volume 1, with a little introduction in the back by Rich Pachter. And I certainly hope that the ones that we sent out have got a better
these are demos. I'm sure
these
Brian's going to go out and buy some
because the thing on the back, there are a few
paper.
words missing on the back there. Rich Pachter's introduction. We don't want to miss any words that he has to say, do we?
No.
Oh, like I said.
But the liner notes.
And then, of course, on the inside, when you open it up,
it's a surprise.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. It's something else.
I was surprised. Weren't you?
Hiya, Pally.
And here's a big, huge, fat. Look at the teats on that cow, huh?
Where does he find this stuff?
Man, and it's sitting on the throne. It looks like to me. It's hard to tell because his whole body is covering up the bowl, but never. It looks like he's sitting on the throne.
Hiya, Pally.
So there's like a little bonus there when you open up the CD. So anyway, go to neilrogers.com, keep checking it out, and sooner or later, by the end of the day, Eric will have that on there, the new Book of Brian CD. Or if not, it's the way it goes, Eric. It's been nice knowing you. Sharon in secret contacts with Palestinians. The contacts were facilitated by a country which has no diplomatic ties to Israel, probably the United Arab Emirates. The unnamed Palestinian officials he met with could play a prominent role in a future Palestinian leadership as Israel, the U.S., an increasing number of Palestinians are agitating for a new administration. This is in the Israeli paper Ma'ariv. How do you like that? Halevi, who now heads the National Security Council, is accompanying Sharon on his 3-day trip to Russia, which started on Sunday. There's a sentence that is missing in here for some strange reason when I printed it out, but I'm doing the best I can. Sharon met in January with Palestinian Parliamentary Speaker Ahmed Kurai, also known as Abu Allah. Well, that sounds like Ahmed Kurai, doesn't it?
Okay.
Abu Allah, the number 2 of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, Mohammed Abbas, and the Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat's economic advisor, Mohammed Rashid. The meetings held with Arafat's blessing came up with no solution to the protracted Palestinian uprising, which has now been underway for 2 years. The Intifada. For your father. At the start of September, Sharon said he was ready to meet with senior Palestinian officials on the request of the official whom he did not name. Well, there you go. They're holding their meat behind closed doors.
Good.
And they better get something resolved pretty soon before Ariel eats it. UN inspectors ignore U.S. call to put Iraq mission on hold. UN experts pushed ahead yesterday with talks on the return of weapons inspectors to Iraq, seeking an agreement with Baghdad despite a U.S. call to put the inspections on hold. I love the word they used. They said that they were ready to thwart. Did you notice that?
Yes.
They wanted to thwart the inspectors' return. U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell said late Monday that UN weapons inspectors should delay any mission to Iraq until the UN Security Council finished deliberations on a possible new resolution that would tighten up the inspection regime. But UN Chief Weapons Inspector Hans Blix made clear as he returned to UN offices in Vienna for a second day of talks with Iraqi officials that his marching orders came from the UN's top decision-making body and not from Washington. I'm asked by the Security Council to do this job, and I be doing it, said Mr. Blix. We're moving forward with our discussions under our mandate, and we'll, of course, take into account any directions from the Security Council, said spokesman Melissa Fleming of the International Atomic Energy Agency. We're moving forward with our business. We have to proceed as if we'll return, she said. While UN experts reported progress during the first day of talks on Monday, Mr. Powell nevertheless took a cautious tone, saying that Mr. Blix should wait for the Security Council to have its final say, and they said, to you, they gave him the old raspberry. Maybe the raspberry guy, they got him on the job, okay? That's shocking that he calls all the shows on the station, which you told me.
Yes.
I feel much better about that now. Man who never sleeps, who spends his entire life. You think it's bad enough with the crank voters on our poll? We got a guy, the raspberry guy, calls round the clock. Joe and Mark, he calls every show on the station off the air. And back at him. And today being Wednesday, I almost forgot we got our big noon to 1 hour, Neil's Bits, between noon and 1
Can't
today.
wait.
All right.
Which is a nice reprieve, a nice rest right in the middle of the week. It's excellent. And well-deserved, if you ask me. Hey, is there still anybody out there who isn't playing at VIPSportsbook.com?
Yes.
Then I better tell you, you're missing out on a really great sportsbook. You're plunging in the wrong place. You hear a lot of ads these days, but you need to do some research before you put down your hard-earned cash at some unstable third-world sportsbook like out there on West Flagler Street or somewhere. Let me help you out. VIPSportsbook.com is the only book to be unanimously endorsed by the industry watchdogs. They're Dutch-based and one of the first online sports books. So if you go on a roll of a lifetime, you want to be working with the best sports book in the world, which is, of course, like we've been telling you for a long time now, VIPSportsbook.com. The football season is in full force. We got that big Dolphin-Patriot game coming up Sunday, so you need to be with the best, VIPSportsbook.com. Open an account online and get you a 15% cash sign-up bonus. And did I mention they have the highest parlay odds you'll find up to 2001?
No.
Well, they do. So get over to VIPSportsbook.com and play at a book with class. Plunge to your heart's content. Call this number toll-free, 1-866-VIP-BETS, B-E-T-S, 1-866-VIP-BETS. And you can also sign up online and get that 15% cash bonus just by logging on to VIPSportsbook.com, where you be the VIP.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560, QAM.
Okay.
Oh! Down to the strip joint, fat red go. You stick $1 in the gutter of a tattooed hoe. He said, honey, got money for you. But when you take me back into the private room for a hand job, that man getting hand jobs. exists. I'm gonna hose you down like a tuna fish. Taking up a big roll of this fat. And only by the smell can you tell where it's at. For a hand job. Hand job. Hand job. That's hand getting hand job. The girls used to handle them big fat guys. She know how to make the bald men cry. Fat man shakes with the shouts and the howl. It leaves a skid mark on the towel. Hand job.
Yes.
Hand job. Hand job. That's hand getting hand job. All right.
So let me ask you, can Eric hear us today or not, or is he still having issues?
He might be able to hear us. I didn't ask him, but he didn't hear the poll, but I gave it to him over the phone.
Oh, no. Well, see, we need to find that out because I want to add one more choice on there.
We'll call him.
Okay, if the election were being held today, who would you vote for Florida governor? Bill McBride, Jeb Bush, I wouldn't vote, or Mo Howard David? Oh, don't you think he needs to be on there?
Yes.
He couldn't win this other one yesterday, even when you subtract the at least 200 phony votes. In fact, if you only take away the 130 votes that we knew were bogus as of the end of the show yesterday, he still comes in third behind Rick Weaver and Zimper. How do you like that? A distant third. But nevertheless, you keep working at it, Mo, okay? You'll get it right. It's not that they don't like your play-by-play work, they just don't like you. See what I'm saying? It's not that they don't like his work on the games, it's just they don't like him at all. At any rate, so make sure he gets that, because I see he's working on it right now. In fact, it might be kind of cute almost to leave it the way it is on my home page here, where it says, if the election for governor were being held today, who would you vote for? And he's still got Rick Weaver, Bill Zimfer, etc. That inspired me to add Mo's name to the list for governor. Well, why the hell not? Write in vote. I'll tell you one thing, I'd vote for him before I'd vote for Bob Coons.
He's going to win.
Who's that, Bob Coons?
No.
Oh, you mean
Howard,
Mo on
yeah.
the... Well, fine, at least that's some place for people to go,
I know.
you know
we'll
what
get
I'm saying?
1,200 votes again.
TV's Putney biased at debate, says McBride aide. They're pissed off and fired up about our close personal friend Michael Putney from Channel 10. You know, good old Michael Putney, who's kind of like the Joe Zagacki of TV politics.
Yes.
Good guy, no personality, as bland as vanilla pudding, as bland as tapioca. Oh, and speaking of tapioca, I went out and got my Nestle's turtle yesterday. I walked into my supermarket, I screamed out, "Take me to your leader." That's L-I-T-R-E-A.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I bought me a liter of Nestle's turtle ice cream and a jar of hot fudge. Doesn't that sound good?
Sounds great.
And it was great. And what I did is I got me my little bowl and I spooned it in there like in thirds. I did 3 different little sessions, you know. And that's what I ate all day yesterday. Nothing else, and I lost a pound. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Didn't have wild, wicked diarrhea or anything like that. I think I'm doing it.
Yeah, you just sprinkle some Uncle Sam's cereal in there.
No, I did not. No, cereal's poison. See, you just won't learn. You refuse to learn. Cereal'd be bad. It's got all that horrible trans fatty acids in it. But at any rate, so like, you put a little bit in a bowl and you spoon some of that hot fudge on there and then you stick the bowl in the microwave for 12 seconds. And boy, it kind of like gets all mushy together in there. Oh man. That is so much better than sex or anything else. That is just to die for. In fact, I think probably Clark Kent is digging into some turtles right now. TV's Putney biased at debate, says McBride aide, moments after last week's debate between Democrat Bill McBride and Governor Jeb Bush. Oh, see, he didn't put the other choice on there yet. Come on, get with Eric.
We called him. It'll show up.
Just calm down. Moments after last week's debate between Democrat Bill McBride and Governor Jeb Bush, the McBride campaign lashed out at the moderator, accusing WPLG-TV's Michael Putney of bias in favor of the governor. The campaign communications director, Alan Stonecipher, left a message on the voicemail of Putney's producer, calling the veteran reporter a little dweeb. A widow dweeb? That's kind of like a widow dwarf. Now those frustrations are boiling over into emails being sent across the state, letters to newspaper editors, a column in the online magazine Salon, and a suggestion that Bush knew in advance the questions that would be posed by random Floridians. How do you like that, huh? He can fix the elections, he can fix the polls, he can fix the debates, he fixes everything. The fix is in. The evidence is the now famous Sylvia Scott of Miami, whose name Bush mentioned minutes before she was introduced with her query. Stonecipher said yesterday that the campaign is not behind the allegation that Bush knew about Scott, but he reiterated complaints that Putney gave Bush more opportunities for rebuttal than McBride. Specifically, when Stonecipher approached Putney immediately after the debate Friday night, he complained about Putney's question to Bush about whether the governor was describing McBride as a classic tax and spend big government kind of guy. The governor looked surprised by the question and replied, kind of, sorta. We got a lot of questions and complaints which are really ongoing, Stonecipher said. I was expressing that view as well as my own. If the governor wanted to call Bill McBride a tax and spend liberal, he can do it in his own words. Stonecipher said he was also unhappy about an op-ed piece by Putney that appeared in the Herald on September 25, just 2 days before the debate, raising questions about McBride's choice of Senator Tom Rawson as a running mate. McBride, though, in an interview yesterday on Channel 10, downplayed his campaign's own criticism of Putney, saying he's sure that Putney didn't try to be biased one way or the other. Putney, considered the dean of Florida television political reporters, in other words, kind of like the Alan Burke of TV political reporters in South Florida, said yesterday the charges of bias are absurd. He said he reviewed the tape of the debate and did in fact find that Bush received more rebuttal time, but that can be explained simply, he said, because McBride was on the attack more often. As a reporter for 36 years and a political reporter in South Florida for the past 25, I know that when one candidate attacks another, whatever the format, fairness dictates that where it's appropriate, the person under attack should be given a brief chance to reply, he'd be saying. Putney explained that Bush mentioned Scott early because the Jacksonville TV studio where the debate was held lined up the next question around a TV monitor in front of the candidates. Bush happened to look at the monitor early, Putney said. Salon magazine columnist Joe Conason questioned yesterday whether Bush had extraordinary psychic powers or had learned something he shouldn't have known before the debate. The Florida Democratic Party is keeping out of the fray, though spokesman Ryan Banfield said he's received calls about Sylvia and complaints that Putney was overly deferential to the governor. I have great respect for Michael and the Florida News Network, Banfield said, adding, I'm not as concerned as to whether the governor knew the questions. It's the answers he gave that trouble me. It seems like he's not in touch with the average Floridian, Banfield said. For its part, the Bush campaign, stationed to work in front of a TV set Tuesday armed with a stopwatch and tape of the debate, campaigns tally 21 minutes, 23 seconds for the governor, 24 minutes, 47 seconds for McBride. Republican strategists suggest that McBride's camp's complaints are the work of a rookie team picking the wrong fight, engaging in an ego match with the most important reporter at the region's top-rated TV station is not likely to help McBride win over South Florida voters. It says here as if that makes a difference. This is in the Herald, by the way. You think it's going to make a difference?
No.
Like the voters out there are going to vote for somebody based on whether or not they're picking on Michael Putney? I don't think they give a flying crap. Michael, with all due respect, you're a good guy. You're boring as hell, and I'm not going to go on your show at any point ever in history, but nobody cares about you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we wish you all the best and all that stuff. But you're small potatoes. Nobody gives a flying flick. 9:26 at 560 WQAM. Like I said, boy, I thought last night we were going to have a new Milky Way.
Squirt, squirt.
In that one scene early in the show, you know, when they were watching that sex flick, oh boy. And aren't those kids a little bit old to be in sex ed, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, you're never too old for the sex movies, though.
Yeah, once Clark saw those sperms start swimming rapidly, boy, he started
squirt, squirt,
losing it. They were flaming all over that goddamn place. Well, like I said, maybe next week. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of it next week.
No.
There's never been a better time to buy a new home or refinance your existing home. How about a rate of 3 point? Well, we want to find out if that thing about the big feet is correct or not, like we had that story yesterday, that big fetus. There's never been a better time to purchase a new home or refinance your existing one. And how about this, boys and girls? How about a rate of 3.95%? That's right. Financial Group can offer you an unprecedented 3.95% by just your picking up the phone and calling Financial Group at their toll-free number, 1-800-940-LEND. That's 1-800-940-5363. The money you're going to save is absolutely...
Oh, we're fine.
Unbelievable. Think about it. You can get a $100,000 loan for only $450 a month or a $200,000 loan for only $950 a month. The process is simple, and you'll save yourself in the long run thousands of dollars this year and each year. So pick up the phone and call our good paisans, our pallies, at Financial Group at 1-800-940-LEND. There's never been a better or smarter time to get you a low interest rate. Call Financial Group and you'll be on your way to big savings. Financial Group is an equal housing lender. Credit restrictions do apply and rates are subject to change. So call right now while you're thinking about it. Call 1-800-940-LEND. That's 1-800-940-5363.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Oh, God, Neil.
Online Casino Radio 560 WQAM presents Captain Mo Vainaroo. The ratings for the sports format were so bad, we had to start paying the sponsors. And when the only 3 listeners we had asked to get paid for listening, well, we thought we'd give this a try.
Hey, hello, boys and girls. This is your old veiny Captain Vainaroo. We got the full docket, the mirth and the merriment over here. This stinks. I ought not be doing this, boys and girls. I was a big star at one time, see? But I gotta tell you, kids, living in paradise ain't cheap. I need the check, understand? All right, let's see what we got over here. Got some crepe paper. We'll figure something out to do with it.
Morning, Captain.
What do you want, Green Jeans? Leave me alone.
Aren't you going to say good morning to our friends?
You're right. Morning, Moose.
They call me Mr. Moose, 'cause I be hung like a moose.
I'm glad to hear it, Mandingo man.
You be dissing me?
Nah, pipe down, pal. You woolies are all right by me. Got the good, strong loins from proper breeding.
I just don't know what you just said.
That's 'cause you're stupid. Now we're gonna make something out of this crepe paper, you understand?
Yo.
Then maybe later I'll pull link sausages out of my pants, okay?
Okay.
All right, now, here's the paper. How many sheets you want, Green Jeans?
I'll take 2.
2?
Yeah.
So that's your take, huh? It's a joke, you moron. I'll take one for me. How many for you, Mr. Moose?
Let me hold 10.
10? 10 sheets of paper?
That's right.
Look at this black-ass monkey over here. He wants 10 sheets. 10 sheets of paper. Well, I got news for you, pal. Paper don't come cheap, you dumb titsoon. Hey, watch you with that scissors.
I was gonna cut your veiny throat.
Help me out here, Green Jeans. Hey, where's your green jeans?
Around my ankles, where we want yours to be.
That's right. Pull him down, Green Genie.
Oh, no. Not again.
I've been feeling
We'll be right back. With more for you boys and girls.
Just when you think it can't get any better, and it does. 9:32 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. We got that big noon to 1 hour today with a little bit of levity as we try to lighten it up a few shades. And then, am I correct? Did I hear Mo right today? Did they bring in a revised schedule? See, the new deal is now that we got 18 program directors, that we're going to have the battle of the schedules. I think Muff is going to make out one schedule and Clarence will make out another one. Then we'll pick and choose whichever one we like the best or whichever one we believe. Don't you think that's a great idea?
Of course.
Because I heard Mo say that Joe Rose is filling in for the Mad Dog today, is what I'm hearing. And Mo wouldn't lie, would he? Well, that's beside the point. I think he got that right. Hank will be on 3 to 7, then we got that playoff baseball stuff. 60 votes already in our Florida governor poll if the election will be held right now. Bill McBride, 36, Jeb Bush, 14, Mo Howard, David, 6, and I won't vote 4. And speaking of who'd you vote for, here's Maureen Dowd's column in today's New York Times. Can Hillary upgrade? ? Watching Robert Torricelli mist and mule as he was torn from the bosom of the Senate gave me new pause over that old question. Are men biologically suited to hold political office and leadership positions? We have the Torch dousing himself in self-pity and wondering why nobody will forgive him for something he claims he never did with a sugar daddy who draped him in Italian-made clothes and Tiffany baubles. We've got a cheerful Andrew Cuomo getting the vapors and being led away from the governor's race on the strong arms of Bill Clinton and Charlie Rangel, and Jeb Bush crying whenever his daughter is busted. We've got Tom Daschle in a lipstick pink tie practically having a drama queen breakdown on the floor of the Senate about being the victim of those nasty White House bullies. We've got the Dow, the ultimate measure of macho capitalism, going all fluttery jittery at the prospect of battle, depressed 1 minute, hyperactive the next, like yesterday. We've got Ari Fleischer, the same Ari who yesterday called on Iraqis to assassinate Saddam because the cost of one bullet would be substantially less than the $13 billion cost of a war, in a swivet because reporters found out he registered for his wedding gifts at Target instead of Tiffany. The arena is full of powerful men in touch with their powerless inner women, and yet surrounded by famous men puddling under pressure, American girls are still doubtful about the prospect of a woman becoming president. According to a poll in yesterday's USA Today, 40% said they would not see one within 10 years, and a grim 14% said not in my lifetime, a woman president. Are those 14% unaware of the Clintonian relentlessness of the junior senator from New York? In the latest sign that she's running for president in 2008, candidate Clinton is staying away from Al Gore's Kumbaya corner. Whatever doubts she may have privately about war, she's not articulating her angst as loudly as some of her Democratic colleagues. She knows that any woman who hopes to be elected president cannot have love beads in her jewelry case. It may be too much even to be caught with a worn copy of Tapestry. Senator Clinton said that she'll support President Bush if he decides to take out Saddam. I know a little bit about what it's like on the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue making these difficult decisions, she told Tim Russert. Just as her husband was obsessed with maintaining his political viability during the Vietnam draft, candidate Clinton must keep her own political viability in mind during the Senate debate on war. Although many Americans assume she's too polarizing a figure to ever get elected, the former First Lady has been shrewd and pragmatic in how she has handled herself in the Senate. She did not have a tantrum when Republican leaders were stingy with her office space. Hillary has offered the other cheek to those who once pilloried her and has charmed her Senate elders, turning her Washington House into the Capriani of fundraising, and has put Democrats in her debt by handing out fistfuls of cash from her PAC. Hillary and Bill, her very own Dick Morris, have a grandiose master plan that calls for John Kerry or John Edwards or Al Gore, if he can find any Democratic donors, to be the sacrificial lamb in 2004 to a popular wartime president. Hillary will try to quell criticisms that she's a pushy queen bee by playing the worker bee in the Senate for a few more years. She will disabuse those who thought she was the liberal in the White House, veering away from the left on issues like welfare and bankruptcy. Her supporters have sketched out a doomsday scenario that would catapult her into the White House. In the flush of patriotism and empire building, the Republicans take over the Senate and keep the House this fall. Then President Bush wins his war in Iraq. He and his inner circle become more arrogant. General Rove, as he's known in Hillary land, pushes through the most reactionary agenda since the Congress of Vienna, packing the courts with young right-wingers opposed to abortion and all regulations. Congress, too, gets carried away with an ultra-conservative agenda. The maniacally centrist American public craves another correction. Right, left, Bush, Clinton, yep, in our lifetime, says Maureen Dowd in today's New York Times. It's enough to make you gag, isn't it? And you know what else it points out?
What?
Democratic Party certainly doesn't offer very many good choices, does it?
No.
In fact, neither party offers. Well, that's just the way it goes. That's America for you. And up here, we're more concerned about much more important things, okay? I have in my hand this morning's National Post, which is one of the worst newspapers you'd ever see in your life, by the way. Yesterday, Toronto Sun, the first 3 pages, pictures of Ron MacLean from Hockey Night in Canada. We're concerned about the important stuff up here, baby. You got it. We can't be worried about wars and invading countries and stuff like that. And like I told you yesterday, Canada don't invade nobody, okay? We mind our own business, eh? Front page of the National Post, groundswell rises for CBC to rehire MacLean. And right next to it, they can't afford him? Please. And there are 87,000 articles just in the front section alone. Forget about the sports section about is Ron MacLean going to not be back on Hockey Night in Canada, and will we be able to survive this? The CBC was under pressure yesterday from federal cabinet ministers and from Labatt, sponsor of Hockey Night in Canada, to reconsider its decision not to renew the contract of Ron MacLean, the show's popular host. And by the way, last thing we heard here on City Pulse, they're only 25,000 apart. So it looks to me like they're going to get together and calm everybody down. Angry fans flooded the CBC with almost 10,000 emails and paraded in front of the network's headquarters in Toronto with bullhorns to protest the deposing of Mr. MacLean after contract talks broke down. Last night there were reports that the CBC was reconsidering Mr. MacLean's contract, but Ruth Ellen Souls, head of media relations for CBC English Radio and TV, said this was not the case. John Manley, this is hysterical. John Manley, the Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, weighed in on the matter, saying Mr. MacLean, Don Cherry's longtime straight man on Coach's Corner, was worth the money he was asking. And it goes on and on. And then there's even an editorial in the frickin' National Post about it. And if you turn to pages 10 and 11 in the front section, Ron and Don, meaning Ron MacLean and Don Cherry, more animated than ever. And there's a picture of Laurel and Hardy next to it. And then here's another article, a hockey host who plays a classic comedy role, Stan Laurel, Jerry Seinfeld, and Ron MacLean. And then on page 11, here's a big picture of Ron. He's worth more than a hokey drama. Thousands of viewers don't want to see him go. There's 7,622 pages in the National Post today about Ron MacLean Stan on Hockey Night in Canada. Oh! How's it going, eh, Ron? You'll be okay. Is that incredible?
That's incredible.
So like I told you, the priority is the interest level of the people here as opposed to the people in South Florida where we can't even talk about, even mention the word hockey on that morning show because Geldy will be deballed, he'll be declawed. And for a guy who's supposed to be, I guess he must have all the weight on in his genitals like on the top end, you know what I'm saying? He must be top heavy.
Like a knob.
The rumor around town is that he's got the gigantic schlong, but he's got nuts like BBs, which I guess would explain that voice maybe a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Can't have everything. So there's the deal for you. No hockey talk on QAM. You can bet your life on that. Certainly not in the morning, not from 6 to 9 on that very lengthy morning show. 95 votes on our governor poll. If the election for governor being held right now today, who'd you vote for? Bill McBride, 58, Jeb Bush, 24, Mo Howard David, 7, and I won't vote 6. I told you Mo gets some good votes on there. These are the ones who didn't get in yesterday on the play-by-play thing. 9:40, 20 till 10 at 560 WQM. We better really hurry it up because we only got a couple more hours of this crap, and then we got that big noon to 1 hour, which I personally can't wait for myself. Does this sound like you? Overworked?
Yes.
Underpaid?
Yes.
Stuck at a dead-end job?
Yes.
Underappreciated?
Yes.
Then do yourself a big favor and pick up that instrument or your phone, whichever you like, and call our good friends at Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. The demand for certified computer professionals is bigger and more humongous than ever, and Fast Train can help you achieve a brand new money-making career in as little as 4 months. Fast Train is South Florida's largest certified Microsoft training center with 4 locations for you in South Florida. They're in Pembroke Pines, they're in Fort Lauderdale, they're in Miami, and that brand new one in Kendall. Fast Train offers convenient day, evening, and weekend classes for you. They've got a full-time job placement department with over 30 years experience in placing folks just like you. So if you're overworked, underpaid, underappreciated, or just stuck in a crappy dead-end job that doesn't pay squat, don't wait another minute. Pick up the phone and call Fast Train toll-free. Even the call is free. 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. There's another pigeon crapping on my balcony. Think about it. In 4 short months, you'll be on your way to becoming a high-paid computer professional in a career with great earning potential. In other words, serious cash at the end of the rainbow. Take my advice, pick up the phone and call Fast Train right now at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. That's 1-866-FAST-TRAIN, or check them out on the web if you like it, fasttrain.com. And tell them that Steve from Davie told you to call.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Sports Queer Radio is what the Q's for in QAM.
Planning your next vacation? Looking for excitement in exotic locations?
Yes.
Then make your next pleasure trip a memorable one. Visit Palestine. Relax as you dine in newly remodeled open-air restaurants. Marvel at the view of the morning sunrise from your open-air hotel room. Experience the cultural differences between Israel and Palestine, and back to Israel again, all from the comfort of the local marketplace as it changes hands each day. You'll be blown away. So plan your next excursion to the land of enchantment, Palestine. We're just a stone's throw away from the Gaza Strip, and Hebron, and Jerusalem.
Yeah, they're just a stone's throw away. 946 at 560 WQAM. You know, I'm really sorry that I read that article yesterday weeping about what happens if Disney buys CNN. Remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Because it was crap, you know. I mean, CNN is crap. Certainly not news. That's what it stands for. For example, right now, there's Jonathan King, the White House correspondent. He's pretty good. But they got breaking news. House reaches deal with the White House on Iraq language, and the president seeks a tough resolution. There's nothing breaking about that, okay? There's nothing breaking. There's nothing sensational.
Authority by Congress to use.
Yeah, as if we don't know what he's looking for, okay? And they're all going to cave in and knuckle under. White House would welcome Hussein assassination, from today's Washington Post. The White House press secretary said yesterday the Bush administration would welcome the assassination of Saddam Hussein by his countrymen, arguing that one bullet would be a cost-effective way of removing the threat the Iraqi leader represents. The cost of one bullet, if the Iraqi people take it on themselves, is substantially less than going to war. President Bush's secretary, Ari Fleischer, said when asked at a televised briefing about the cost of military action against Iraq. Asked whether the administration was advocating the assassination of Hussein, Fleischer repeatedly replied, regime change is welcome in whatever form it takes. Fleischer's unusually colorful remarks created a stir in the White House press corps, and Fleischer called reporters after the briefing to tone down the impact of his words. I was making a rhetorical point about the cost of the bullet, he said. The point I'm making is not administration policy. If the Iraqi people took events in their own hands, the world will not shed a tear. I'm not stating administration policy. I'm stating the obvious, he said. In a briefing, the press secretary said there's no consideration of relaxing the American ban on assassination of foreign leaders, unless, of course, it was in Vietnam or in Chile. Following congressional hearings examining botched CIA assassination, or in Cuba, botched CIA assassination attempts, executive orders began in 1976 to have prohibited such targeted killings. But the Washington Post reported last year that the CIA was contemplating clandestine missions expressly aimed at killing specified individuals for the first time since the 70s. Drawing on 2 classified legal memoranda, one written for President Clinton in 1998 and one since the attacks of 9/11, the Bush administration concluded that executive orders banning assassination did not prevent the president from lawfully singling out a terrorist for death by covert action. Elliot Cohen, a scholar at Johns Hopkins School for the Advanced International Studies, said that while the directives forbid the killing of a political leader, if you're a military leader, it's somewhat different, and Saddam bills himself as a military leader. Cohen also said that Fleischer's welcoming of an assassination by Iraqis would likely be shared by others in the administration. Of course they would welcome that. He said in many ways it would make things simpler all around. Of course, this is all window dressing because, like George and I were discussing before the show today, just killing Saddam and getting a new Saddam Jr. in there, Saddam Light, that isn't going to solve anything because that's not what we want. We have to have our military presence in there so we can occupy Iraq. We can take over the oil fields. We can set up our own puppet regime like the Shah. We can have, instead of the Shah of Iran, we can have the Shah of Iraq, or whatever we stick in there, whatever we call him. We can send Dick Shaw, or Dick Shawn.
Or Rick Shaw.
Or any other, or Rick Shaw would be good. Although he'd have to change his headgear, I'll tell you that. 122 votes on that poll. If the election for governor was being held today, who'd you vote for in Florida? Bill McBride, 73. Jeb Bush, 31. Mo Howard David, 10.
Oh!
And I won't vote, 8. This is from Common Dreams News Center by Ariana Huffington. She writes some pretty good stuff for a bitch.
All
I'm
the
not
time,
that...
right?
Huh?
Yes, she does.
I don't like seeing her on TV. Maybe just because she's got that ugly puss. Just like I don't like seeing Joan Collins on Guiding Light. What is that bitch doing on there anyway?
What is she doing anywhere? Lock her up.
Nasty, old, smelly
yes.
turd burger. The White House on Iraq. We don't need no stinking proof, writes Ariana. We all know who attacked us on September 11, 2001, don't we? No, not Osama bin Laden. God, that is so last year. It never turns out to be the person you first suspect. It was Saddam Hussein. For some reason, we couldn't find him when we went after him in Afghanistan, bringing that magic elixir of regime change along with us. But now we've got a better idea. Track him down where he actually lives in Baghdad and punish him right in his own backyard. It's the only way to obtain justice for the thousands he killed on 9/11. At least that's the way the White House is now pitching the story. In this latest rewrite of history, Osama suddenly lost his beard and grown a mustache, morphing into the Butcher of Baghdad, or one of the look-alike stand-ins Saddam's been using for public appearances since 1998. You can't distinguish between Al-Qaeda and Saddam when you talk about the war on terror, President Bush said in the Oval Office last week. Really? He can't differentiate between a group of evil ultra-radical Islamic fundamentalists that carried out the 9/11 attacks and an evil secular nationalist who, despite the frantic efforts of the Bush administration, has not been directly linked to 9/11? He'd better start making such distinctions, and fast. When every expert who knows anything about the Mideast can distinguish between the two, is it too much to ask that a president who's ready to go to war look a bit more closely? People under stress often regress to earlier stages of development. It appears that Bush is so intent on getting Saddam, so obsessively tightly gripped by a need to succeed where his war hero dad failed, so obsessively determined to lay the murderous 9/11 assault at Baghdad's door, that he's regressed to the level of childhood development where fantasy, reality, and wish fulfillment are all mixed up. Except that this time, things like nuclear weapons and the safety of the world for the next few decades are involved. No, I'm no psychologist, but I believe there is a clinical term for this condition, going off the deep end. How else to explain the president's bizarre response to a reporter's straightforward query last week about who poses a bigger threat to America, Saddam or Al-Qaeda? That's an interesting question, he replied. I'm trying to think of something humorous to say, but I can't when I think about Al-Qaeda and Saddam Hussein. When did the president take over the Tonight Show? Why would the idea that he should make a joke about such a deadly serious subject even cross his mind? It would be like asking Daniel Van Damme's parents about the trial of their daughter's murder and having them apologize for not being ready with a humorous quip. No, Mr. President, you don't need to apologize. Your inability to treat serious subjects lightly is not one of your deficiencies. So rather than struggling to come up with a wan witticism, why don't you just answer the question, especially since it appears by your actions that you've already come up with one. Instead of bothering to give the least defense of his sudden fusion of Saddam and Osama, Bush launched into a fantasy-fueled diatribe. The danger is that they work in concert. The danger is that Al-Qaeda becomes an extension of Saddam's madness and his hatred and his capacity to extend weapons of mass destruction around the world. The president's regressed condition is spreading like the West Nile virus throughout the West Wing and beyond. Witness the symptomatic blurring of fact and fantasy exhibited by Defense Secretary Rumsfeld. When asked at an Armed Services Committee hearing about what is now compelling us to take precipitous actions against Iraq, Rumsfeld barked, "What's different? What's different is 3,000 people were killed." Yeah, by Mohammed Atta and company, not by Saddam Hussein, but why quibble on details when there's a propaganda war to be won? National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice continued the assault on reality when she vaguely yet ominously claimed there clearly are contacts between Al-Qaeda and Iraq that can be documented. Well, then why not document them? We've documented contacts between Al-Qaeda and all our oil dealers in Saudi Arabia and Al-Qaeda and our new best friends in Pakistan, but I don't see any B-2s powering up parades over Riyadh or Karachi. As is the White House custom, Rice simply refused to back up her claims. So did Rumsfeld, who memorably rebuffed a reporter late last week by saying, that happens to be a piece of intelligence that either we don't have or we don't want to talk about. In other words, proof? We don't need no stinking proof. And just because I'm asking your sons and daughters to possibly sacrifice their lives for it doesn't mean you deserve to know whether it even exists. It would be nice if we could take them all at their word and let the bombs fall where they may, but Senator Bob Graham, who is chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, is privy to the inside scoop, says he has seen no evidence of any link between Al-Qaeda and Saddam Hussein. So we're left with the fevered, infantile imaginings of the president and his pals. We've had dots before, said Anna Perez, Rice's spokeswoman. Now we have a higher density of dots. Have we connected those dots? No, she says. Perhaps the president should put down his saber rattle, pick up his crayons, and connect them before drawing us into a bloody war, says Ariana Huffington. Pretty damn good, Ariana. Just don't put your puss on TV anymore, okay? We like reading what you have to say. We just don't like looking at you. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
There are a lot of people that, we just don't want to see them. Kind of like Norma Kent, You don't mind talking to him on the phone like once every 6 months, but you sure don't want to see him. Oh, that's right. You can't say anything because he's working on your deal. Well, forget about that.
Norm. He's great.
That ain't
handsome
gonna
man.
That ain't going to happen. You're not going to get no new contract. Ask Muff how his new contract's coming. Just take the paycheck every week to the bank. Did you get the rest of that bonus yet, by the way?
No.
Now, what year was that for? 18 what?
92.
I see. Well, that was a good year. Governor Jim McGreevey announced yesterday that former Senator Frank Lautenberg would replace scandal-tainted incumbent Robert Torricelli as a candidate for the U.S. Senate seat in the November elections after Torricelli's sudden withdrawal from the race. McGreevey said the state's Democratic leadership would formally file a petition for Lautenberg's candidacy as soon as the state Supreme Court approved the change in candidates. I am confident, based upon a thorough and vigorous debate, the citizens of the state of New Jersey will elect Senator Lautenberg to the U.S. Senate, preserving quality representation on behalf of our state and ensuring a Democratic majority in the U.S. Senate, said the Democratic governor, announcing the move. In other words, we had a crappy candidate before who was going to lose his ass because he's a crook, and now we're going to put a good one in there we think can win. Earlier in the day, the state Supreme Court agreed to hear a Democratic petition to name a new candidate for Torricelli's seat after a lower court stopped the printing of ballots to reflect his sudden withdrawal. Lautenberg emerged as the leading contender to replace Torricelli on the November 5th ballot after another choice. U.S. Representative Frank Pallone, no relation to Dave Pallone, said he would not enter the race due to family reasons, Democratic sources said last night. Lautenberg, 78, retired from the Senate 2 years ago after 3 terms and is a longtime rival of Torricelli. In a brief speech after the governor's announcement, Lautenberg promised he would continue fighting for causes he worked for in his previous terms, such as the environment, prescription drug benefits and Medicare, and abortion rights. It'll be the shortest campaign I've ever been engaged in, and I kind of like the prospects, he joked. With just 5 weeks left before the midterm elections, the party scrambled to find a candidate in the race against Republican newcomer Doug Forrester. The New Jersey race is critical to Democratic hopes of holding on to control of the Senate. Bill Bradley said
no,
and Bob Menendez said
no,
and even Eric and Lyle Menendez said
no.
Even they don't want it. How do you like that? Well, Eric, he's married to that hot blonde chick.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see that show?
Nope.
It was pretty, I don't want to say it's interesting, pretty depressing, I think, is
right.
what I'm looking for. 9:56 at 560 WQM, time to tell you about Balance for Life. And the Beast, I'm sorry, Beast, we're not going to bat for you. You had your chance the other day when you were in that studio. I gave you the opportunity to open up your big, fat mouth. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't give us the story. See, off the air, he's telling a different tale, like a lot of other people I know. I don't want to mention George. Off the air, he's telling, like Rimmer, same thing. Off the air, and on the air, like that. Like the Mad Dog, like a lot of other people, like zip the lip. Anyway, if you want to lose the weight, if you want to zip the lip when it comes to eating all of that fattening food, here's the answer for you. Balance for Life. No more cooking, no shopping, no cleaning, no worries, because they combine the knowledge of the Zone diet with special emphasis on the glycemic values of carbs, and they deliver to your door in a little black sack every morning, right by 6 o'clock in the a.m., 3 gourmet meals made with delicious fresh ingredients and 2 delicious snacks, and a little bottle of water in there, too, to boot, eh? So you don't have to worry about buying anything or counting anything. The only choices you have to make are on that little menu they send you. You have 2 choices for each meal every day that you're on the program. And believe me, you'll be full right up to your gullet because there's plenty of food in there to keep you satisfied all day long. Nothing frozen, nothing artificial, no little boxes of crap. Everything is fresh and delicious, made with the best ingredients you'll find anywhere. Lots of vegetables, lots of tasty, great stuff, chicken dishes and beef and all kinds of wraps, you name it. So let Balance for Life help you lose weight the easy, delicious, painless way. Call them today at 954-568-3229. I guarantee you no time at all, you'll look a hell of a lot better than the Beast. 954-568-3229 or check out their website at balanceforlife.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Regresa Canadá, judío bastardo.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story, we take a good, hard, stiff look into stardom. It only took one hit for them to burn their freaking song into our brains. But it only took one man to bring them to their freaking knees. They were After the Fire.
Don't turn around, uh-oh. Sure got commissars in town, uh-oh.
So we're recording the song, right? And I know it's missing something, but I don't know what.
Lead singer Jack Wofford talks about his so-called creative process.
So I'm singing out loud, don't turn around. And just then, the janitor is walking by, and he goes, uh-oh. And I go, der Commissar's in town. And he goes, uh-oh. And right then, I knew we had a hit.
Unfortunately for the band, so did the janitor, Ron Bustum.
Hey, it was my uh-ohs that made that song so popular. I was making money as a janitor. I figured why not ream 'em good?
Ron hired a sleazy lawyer who tricked the band into paying Ron $5,000 for every uh-oh every time the song was played anywhere in the world for his entire life.
That oily little bastard. I mean, $5,000 every time he goes, uh-oh. We went broke in about 20 minutes. I work at Borders, for crying out loud.
Meanwhile, at his Hawaiian villa, Ron the janitor has attained rock star cult status, which he openly uses to get laid. A lot.
Oh, Ron. Do it again, Ron.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Ron.
After the fire, they learned the hard way not to let a janitor go uh-oh in your song. It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business tonight on Inside the Behind.
Can't wait. 10:03 at 560 WQAM. Publisher Walter Annenberg. We've talked about him on the show many times, and I can never remember what his name is.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Walter
Annenberg.
Yeah.
TV Guide.
He died?
You're not familiar with this?
No.
You better get with it, mister. You're not keeping up on world affairs and events and stuff.
Smallville and then went to bed.
I see. Well, that was a good choice. Well, no, he died before Smallville. Walter Annenberg, who, in fact, just as it was coming on, I think the excitement was a little bit too much. I think when those sperm started swimming around and Clark started burning up the screen in the whole goddamn classroom, I think that's when Walter finally, and that was it. Walter Annenberg, who parlayed America's love affair with TV into a fortune by launching the National TV Guide magazine and later served as ambassador to Britain, died yesterday. He was 94. That's old enough. Wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, I'll
94 is old enough. Wouldn't most of us like to make it to 94 in reasonably good health?
Yes.
You bet. Annenberg, who created 17 magazine, gave billions of dollars to charity and endowed 2 leading journalism schools. He died at his home in suburban Wynwood. Of complications from pneumonia, said Kathleen Hall Jameson, dean of the Annenberg School for Communication at the University of Pennsylvania. His wife Leonore was with him when he died. Annenberg was a big... Now, see, this is what I've always screamed about. He used to be a raving liberal many years ago. Yeah. And then something happened. I don't know what the hell hit him somewhere in the old...
Rectum.
And he became a raving right-wing lunatic.
He probably started making some money.
Oh, he did. Annenberg was a big contributor to Republican political candidates in the times of behind-the-scenes political power, reports CBS News correspondent Bob Fuss. He socialized often with Presidents Eisenhower, Nixon, Ford, and Reagan, while President Mr. Reagan spent most every New Year's with Annenberg, partying at his walled Palm Springs, California estate. How do you like that? After selling some of his properties, he sold the remaining Triangle properties, including TV Guide to maggot Rupert Murdoch in 1988 for $3 billion. Forbes magazine listed him as one of the wealthiest Americans, ranking him number 39 this year with an estimated net worth of $4 billion. And you know how much good that's going to do him now?
None.
Not too much good, because now the worms are going to get him. The damn worms are going to get him.
Yeah, but he'll be in a really nice casket while they eat.
I remember once upon a time I was talking about a rose, a nice rose.
Yeah.
And about how, flowers, you plant the seed, and then the plant grows, and then it blossoms, and it blooms, and it turns beautiful. And then, you water it, and you keep it alive as long as possible. And then you see the leaves start wilting, and it kind of like shrivels up, and it dies. And I said, there's the perfect analogy for human life. I mean, that's just the way it is. You're born, you live your life, and once you start to be 17 or 18, cells start dying instead of growing. And it's pretty depressing to think you start dying when you're 17, but it's true.
Right.
And then, you start, in fact, the living proof of that is if you get on some of these, search for your old friends things on the internet.
Yes.
And you look at those pictures of people that you went to school with 100 years ago, and you look at what they look like now, and oh my God, people who used to look really sensational, like 42 years ago, they're all wrinkled up, and and they got paunchy pot bellies, and they look like crap. And then before you know it, they stick your ass in a pine box, and the worms get you, and you're dead. Or not necessarily in that order. And I remember the guy called me that day, he said, that's the worst analogy I ever heard in my life. Another emotional cripple. Another one of the many brilliant calls I've had over the years in those awful days when the show was about nothing but begging for phone calls, begging for an intelligent response, which we seldom got, or even an interesting or amusing response, which we seldom got. That's the worst analogy I ever heard in my life, Neil. I thought it was magnificent. I thought it was perfect.
I like the cockroach analogy a little bit better.
Well, no, I mean, the cockroach thing is a little bit grotesque, but the fact of the matter is, when you step on a cockroach, which is your immediate instinct is to swat it, to step on it, to kill it immediately, if not sooner, because it's a disgusting, nasty little thing that carries all kinds of disease and whatever, and it don't look too good to top it all off. It's not very appetizing. It's not like a bunny rabbit. And you step on that thing, or an even better one is an ant.
Why is that
See,
better?
let me tell you how I look upon death. I have a term, and that is that when you die, you cease to exist.
Right. You go back to what you were before you were born.
No, you forget about that. You cease to exist.
Yeah. Right.
Now, people will want to be nostalgic, oh, but they exist in our memory. Well, that's fine. They exist in your memory because you're still alive and your brain is still functioning, but they don't exist anymore.
Right.
And it's not like, well, they're going to die for a little while, and then, they'll change their mind and come back.
Like Ted Williams, he still exists.
Yeah, now that's a good point. Unless you're on ice. You might exist on ice, especially if you're like a hockey player would be good. Like Terry Sawchuk. He's dead, but maybe he exists somewhere on ice. Maybe he's getting ready for Hockey Night in Canada. Maybe he's going to replace Ron McLean on Hockey Night in Canada because I'm sure that his stiff would work cheaper than Ron. But nevertheless. And because people are so emotionally crippled and conditioned to fear, to have this terror of death, I mean, oh no, man has a soul. And the good Lord this and the good Lord that. The good Lord that invents all of these diseases, all of these horrendous, grotesque religions where people are killing each other because they just can't get the message, And like the Virgin Mary, she needs a map. She needs a compass and a road map. She keeps showing up on the side of bank buildings in Pensacola. Well, who the hell gives a crap about frickin' Pensacola or that little town in Georgia? Where the hell was that town? Conroy? Wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Conroy,
freaking
like
Georgia, that's got a population of like 8, and she shows up there. Like I've said before, if Jesus is going to come back, how about like doing it right on that big billboard there in Times Square would be good.
Okay. Or on IMAX.
Doesn't that sound good to you? Oh, Deputy Attorney General Larry Thompson, breaking news.
Alleged criminal conduct. Not only does
this is about the Enron thing, okay? Breaking news, CNN, they're the Antichrist, okay? They make me sick to my stomach. In fact, I think I may program all of my TVs just to blot it out. Former CFO of Enron to be charged today. We already know that. It's not breaking news. They already showed us an hour ago, and Andrew Fastow is accused of masterminding the scam. And that's not breaking news. Breaking news is something new, something shocking, something like the world is coming to an end, or Sodom just blew his brains out, or something. Oh, speaking of Sodom.
Yeah.
USA Today says U.S. troops are at a risk of needless deaths in a chemical or biological attack because of inadequate training or protective gear. Congressional and Defense Department investigators told a House panel yesterday. Democrats opposing a possible invasion of Iraq cited those problems as more reason to oppose President Bush's request for a congressional go-ahead for the use of military force. Bush accuses Iraqi President Saddam of stockpiling chemical and biological weapons in violation of UN resolutions demanding that Iraq disarm. Are we exposing our men and women at this point to contamination, knowing that we cannot protect them? Asked Representative Diane Watson, Democrat of California. I'm not going to support going blindly into warfare that could result in great bodily harm to our fighting men and women, she be saying. Investigators from the GAO and the Pentagon's Inspector General said the military has problems keeping track of its protective gear, supplying enough protective equipment to troops, and training them in how to work in a contaminated environment. The survival of our service members in military operations in a chemical or biological environment may be at risk, Raymond Decker of the GAO told a House Government Reform National Security Subcommittee hearing yesterday. Decker and Joseph Schmitz, the Defense Department Inspector General, said the reports on problems with chemical and biological protection were largely classified. They cited these unclassified details. The Defense Department has not accounted for up to 250,000 defective protective suits. Military officials told the panel there was a low risk these suits would be used in combat. The military has shortages of some important protective gear and has not met internal requirements for the number of full protective ensembles, which include gas masks, hoods, suits, boots, and gloves. Well, if they need extra hoods, they can always go see John Ashcroft. Many units have had insufficient training in how to deal with chemical or biological attacks, and the military has implemented only recently requirements that units submit reports on their chemical and biological training. Marine Corps and Air Force training is more robust than Army and Navy training, Schmidt said. The Defense Department recalled almost 800,000 protective suits in the year 2000 after warnings from internal investigators about defects including holes, improper stitching, and embedded foreign objects in the fabric. All were made by a bankrupt New York company, Istratex, whose top officials later pleaded guilty to federal charges. The Defense Logistics Agency has accounted for about 550,000 of the defective suits, agency official George Allen told the House panel. The agency has offered free shipping and has sent reminder notices to military commanders as recently as a month ago to recover the defective suits. Allen Army Major General William Bond, a chemical and biological offense official, said remaining defective suits probably would not be in the hands of frontline units. Probably, but we're not too sure. The military currently has about 4.5 million sets of protective gear, including 1.5 million of the latest version known as the Joint Service Lightweight Integrated Suit Technology, or JS list. All four military services have shortages of some items, Decker said, and the shortages are to worsen as older equipment passes expiration dates. Well, nevertheless, when in doubt, just chip them out. We'll take our chances, you know what I'm saying?
Right, well, they will.
Well, yeah, we'll take our chances with their lives. That's basically what the Bushmeisters are saying.
We're not going to get into
It's not us. We'll just hop on Air Force One again and hightail it out there to St. Louis or somewhere.
One of those bunkers, one of those really nicely appointed bunkers that we saw that special about.
Yeah, we'll go see Archie. 12 minutes after 10 at 560, we got Joe Rose for the Mad Dog. Did we ever confirm that? Is that accurate? Because
nope.
I hate to put some news on the air that I heard on Moe's show because I'm a little bit concerned about some of the information. And he was not accountable this morning that I heard. I didn't hear the whole show, of course. But he wasn't accountable. He didn't step up to the plate and admit about Carolyn and about the Beast and about all these things, since he's always telling us we got to be accountable. Didn't hear it myself. Maybe somebody can fax us and let us know. Was Mo accountable this morning?
No.
Did he step up to the plate? And was he accountable for his actions and admit instead of answering questions with another stupid question?
Where you get the information from?
Talking about train, exactly. Because we know beyond it, well, we don't want to get the Beast in too much trouble. He's got his own issues, you know. Let me tell you right now, if you want to stay in good health, Oleomed can't hurt. It can only help. Because it's a fine new product. It's a little capsule you pop in your puss that contains pharmaceutical-grade olive oil along with a blend of vitamins, minerals, and herbals, and they promote different parts of your health for different parts of your body. Following, there's one for your heart, one to help lower your blood pressure, one to help control your cholesterol and prostate, one for your circulatory system, one for your digestive and endocrine system, one for your skin and bones, and there's an Oleomed potion even designed to help your mind, and believe you me. All using the benefits of the best olive oil you'll find anywhere on this planet, and Oleomed continues making products designed to help men and some for ladies as well. It's an outstanding, exciting, sensational new product, and if you want to pick it up, you can do so all over town. Pick some up at Whole Food Markets, that's with the W, Walgreens, Sedano's, and Navarro Pharmacies. For more info on Oleomed, call our toll-free number and just ask whatever the hell comes to your mind. Call 1-866-OLEOMED. That's 1-866-OLEOMED, and you can order their great product online if you like at oleomedamerica.com.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Holy cow, Aaron's coming.
Well, he's a Tallahassee Nazi. Who got the money from his daddy? An anti-Semite little bratty. With an agenda that's crappy. Well, he's a Tallahassee Nazi. Of the FLA. Well, he's a presidential son who doesn't have to run. No one else is gonna win. He might as well just move right in. Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil. He has a golden spoon. He was born with up his ass. So look out, all you Jews. Get ready for the gas. He's a Tallahassee Nazi. He'll give our civil rights a whammy. Cause he's a Tallahassee Nazi. Love of FLA. Well, he's a very wealthy dude with very fascist views who never paid his dues. By next year, we'll all be screwed. Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil. Any schmuck could win that race against Buddy McKay. Why do you think they call it gubernatorial anyway? He's a Tallahassee Nazi. He'll make the KKK happy. Yeah, he's a Tallahassee Nazi. Love of FLA. Come on, let's do the step. Come on, Adolf. Let's go for
10:19 at 560 WQAM. More trouble for Martha.
Oi!
Poor Martha, man. They just won't leave that bitch alone, you know what?
All right.
An assistant to Martha Stewart stockbroker has decided to plead guilty and testify against the home decorating maven and others in ImClone Systems scandal, the AP learned yesterday. Dennis Fanuel, 26, is expected to plead guilty today to a misdemeanor, making false statements to investigators as part of the deal, said a source familiar with the plea negotiations. The agreement was confirmed by another source familiar with the negotiations who also spoke, of course, on the condition of
anonymity?
Right. Good guess. Investigators are looking into Stewart's sales of nearly 4,000 ImClone shares last December, which we already know, just before the stock price plunged on news that the FDA would not review its highly touted cancer drug, Erbitux. Merrill Lynch handles Stewart's ImClone sale. Prosecutors are trying to determine if Stewart was tipped off by her close friend Sam Waxel, ImClone's founder and ex-CEO, who's in big hot water. Fanuel's lawyer did not return calls for comment, and Stewart's spokesman, Alan Magrino, declined to comment as well. They're all mum. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office also declined to comment. So there you go. He's going to turn the tables, man, on her. He's going to spill the beans. Wouldn't you love to see her in one of those orange jumpsuits? I think that would be lovely. In fact, I think maybe we could hook her up with Susan Smith. Sounds good.
You could do the programs in prison. Now, if you're tired of your orange jumpsuit, here's how you can snazzy it up.
And what was the bitch in Texas? What the hell was her name?
Andrea Yates.
Andrea Yates and Susan Smith and Martha. In fact, Martha can do the cooking.
You know, one more and you got a pinochle foursome.
It sounds great to me. Ex-pastor sentenced to prison. Oh, God. He was a loving father, a caring mentor, a charismatic pastor, but what defied Michael's score yesterday was his sexual interest in boys. In a downtown San Diego courtroom crowded with supporters and critics of the fallen clergyman, a judge sentenced the former senior pastor of Calvary Lutheran Church in Solana Beach, California, to 29 years in prison. Score, 55, pleaded guilty in August to molesting an 11-year-old boy and trying to do the same to the boy's younger brother. Score was spared a life prison term when defense lawyer Bill Nimmo negotiated a sentence of no less than 20 years and no more than 30 years. The boys each told authorities Score touched them inappropriately. Score denies touching the younger boy. In other words, the 11-year-old, that was okay, but the younger boy, he wouldn't do that. The case destroyed the innocence of the two boys, said their mother, who now wonders if they'll ever regain their faith in a loving God.
Oh, God.
It horrified Score's wife and children who say their faith calls them to forgive him at the same time they denounce his actions. It transformed the prominent church on Via de Valle, where the office doors now have windows, and leaders say watching out for children is much a part of life as Wednesday dinners on the beach. And it has left Score saying he doesn't understand how he came to betray a life of service to others as an Air Force sergeant, a Boy Scout leader, a teacher, a sheriff's deputy, and an ordained minister. And let me say it again, at the risk of alienating some of my fag friends out there in the audience. Gays in the Scouts, no problem. But gay Boy Scout leaders, no. Sorry. You know what I'm talking about? Troop, whatever they call them?
Scoutmasters.
Scoutmasters, exactly. Sorry. No way, Jose. Now, see, why did they send me this thing about the Red Cross? Driver records altered. See, they're just going to get me agitated because every time I went to the website yesterday, that banner ad at the bottom for the Red Cross kept popping up on there just to piss me off, I think. San Diego Red Cross officials doctored records that determine the amount of bonuses the charity received through transportation contracts it had with San Diego County. They doctored the records. We've uncovered in our investigation instances of driver manifests being altered, Robert Chiapak, spokesman for the National Red Cross, said yesterday. I wonder if he's any kin to Chiapet. Chiapak's disclosure came in response to a question raised by a wrongful termination lawsuit filed last week by a former Red Cross office clerk. The Red Cross sucks, okay? Don't give any money to the Red Cross. And if you don't believe me, just look back and read those articles about what happened post 9/11. Embarrassing. They always have to be embarrassed into doing the right thing because behind the scenes they're doing a lot of crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So don't be fooled by those banner ads on our website for the Red Cross and do this and donate that because we have no control over that. Or at least that's what Eric says. And I'm sure he doesn't. Do you think?
He doesn't.
How do you know that?
I'm just guessing.
You're just taking his word for it. Don't be taking his word for it. Because Carlos is just standing there salivating. He's waiting online, man, to move right in.
No, he's right. I'm not saying that that's not the way it goes. It's just that,
What are you saying? Don't be equivocating, okay? Don't be taking your cues from people like George and the Beast, okay? Who talk a good game off the air and then on the air like that. You know, they're like all over the place because they're scared crapless. What do you got to lose? $1.50 an hour? What do you care? And what is it?
You got a good point.
Yeah.
No, I really don't know what kind of contract he's got with them. That is the point. He can they do control everything on that, but I don't know if he could force them to do anything else. But I mean, that is true. He doesn't place the individual ones.
He has no control over it.
Right.
But that still gives Carlos an opportunity to move in there because I don't see the new Boca Brian thing on there. Do you? The new CD?
He's waiting for the graphics from Boca Brian.
I'm just kidding. Will you relax? Jesus,
you don't know what you're doing to the man. You think it's funny. He doesn't.
What do you mean he doesn't think it's funny?
He takes it all seriously. No matter how many conversations I have with him before and after the show, he takes it all seriously.
Now, you never said that before. Now that's bullcrap. You always said to me before about the fat jokes and about all the other stuff.
The fat jokes are fine.
Okay, so forget about the other stuff. He's fat, okay?
He's fat.
Okay, let's just stop at that. He's fat and he won't stop eating. And that's why he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. He knows it's just all shtick for crying out loud, and you're the one that's getting all defensive and paranoid over it.
I keep having to go over that with him, that it's all
shtick. Go over what?
That it's all shtick.
We love Eric, okay? So he's fat and he's sometimes a little slow on the uptake.
He yanked all the ads and was losing revenue because he thought you were genuinely pissed off about that whole thing.
About what?
About the Red Cross thing.
No, put him back on there for Christ's sake.
I told him that. I said, stop being a silly person.
Jesus Christ, Eric, butch up a little bit, will you please? Guy like that. Here's the good news. Let's get some good news on here, okay? Because time is a waste in here, man. We only got till noon, then we got to play all those bits for an hour and kill an hour. I mean, and I see we got another schedule. These schedules keep coming in here, man, like, wow.
Well, that's the one that's got the...
But I already did that on mine. We don't need to keep wasting this goddamn paper.
They gave it to me.
With Joe Rose instead of the Mad Dog today. Okay, the little dog, the Mad Dog, we got a dog, okay? Some dog. Major League Baseball playoffs. Well, let's tomorrow, please. But please, it says on here. Please quit bugging me with schedules, okay? We'll worry about tomorrow when we get there. You worry about getting your morning guard to start promoting all the shows on here, and then I'll worry about promoting other crap. They can't get that done, can they? No. Even the trained monkey, we enjoyed that. You know, he didn't even come up with that this morning. Right. We don't mind the organ grinder and the trained monkey. That's at least a step in the right direction, an acknowledgement that there's a show coming on instead of Geldy with his 5-day pregame show or whatever crap he's spouting today.
I'm going to give a copy of that to Robert so that they can play it.
Good. That's great. That'd be an excellent lead-in. 234 votes on the poll. I'm starting to raise an eyebrow on this one, but we'll go with it. If the election for governor being held today, who would you vote for? Bill McBride, 121. Jeb Bush, 81. Mo Howard David, 20, and I wouldn't vote 12. A little bit suspect, but nevertheless. Hey, is there still anybody alive out there who isn't plunging their guts out at VIPSportsbook.com? Well, what are you waiting for? You're really missing out on a really great sportsbook or something like that. You hear a lot of ads these days, but you need to do some research before you plunk down your hard-earned money at some unstable third-world sportsbook. Let me help you out. VIPSportsbook.com is the only book to be unanimously endorsed by the industry watchdogs. They're Dutch-based, not like based in some horrible place like Costa Rica, and one of the first online sportsbooks. Now, why would I say Costa Rica is a horrible place?
I don't know. I've heard only nice things.
Third world, baby.
Well, yeah, but...
Seriously, if you want to go on a roll of a lifetime, you want to be with the best sportsbook, just ask Phil the Bugman next time you see him. VIPSportsbook.com. It's the best in the universe, and of course the football season is swinging it in all directions now. You can almost smell that pigskin and those soiled jockstraps in the air. So be with the very best, VIPSportsbook.com. And speaking of football, of course, we got that gigantic pressure-packed game, the Patriots and the Dolphins, this Sunday. So open an account online and get you a 15% cash sign-up bonus. And did I mention, of course, like I always try to do, they give you the highest parlay odds you'll find in the world, up to 2,000 to 1. So get over to VIPSportsbook.com and plunge in a book with some serious class. The phone number toll-free is 1-866-VIP-BETS, B-E-T-S, 1-866-VIP-BETS. Go online to VIPSportsbook.com and get that 15% bonus for signing up online. VIPSportsbook.com, where you are the VIP.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Meridians, dumb as dirt.
There's a military plot to make Iraq a pocket lot, so let them drop, 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 drop. Here we come, ready or not, holy freaking hop, it's not, we'll let them drop, 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 drop. Hussein, here comes Major Payne. Oh! Let's go bomb Iraq. Oh, baby. USA attack. Oh, baby. Drop one in its crack. Oh, baby. Better get that black. Oh, baby. Hussein, here comes Major Payne. Will you be be feeling pretty sad when there's nothing left in Baghdad except the smoke, 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 smoke. W is steaming mad, gonna do it for his dad, and that's no joke, 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 joke. Hussein, here comes Major Payne. Let's go bomb Iraq. Oh, baby. USA attack. Oh, baby. Drop one, it is crack. Oh, baby. Better get at black. Oh, baby. Hussein, here comes Major Payne.
Okay, so we got a thing from a CNN there. Aurelia Wilson's caretaker's arrested on fraud charges. You see that?
Good.
Nice going there, Jeb.
Oh!
You're doing it, baby. Not. Remember that story we had the other day about the bus attack?
Right.
Well, you were right. You've been hot for about a week. You've been right on. You had your thumb on it. Beener.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they knew it wasn't a terrorist attack.
Exactly.
Beener. A transit was booked on suspicion of murder yesterday for allegedly slashing the throat of a Greyhound bus driver with a pair of scissors, causing a crash that killed 2 passengers. The bus heading from Los Angeles to San Francisco flipped on its side Monday evening and slid into a field off Interstate 5 near Fresno, was carrying 50 passengers. The suspect, Arturo Martinez, 27, was held on 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Authorities said they didn't know of any motive. He has told us several stories about why he did what he did. Sheriff's Detective Lieutenant Margaret Mims said. She said authorities were checking to see whether drugs, alcohol, or mental problems played a role. Officials said the attack was not related to terrorism and said yesterday they didn't know the motive of Arturo Tapia Martinez, 27, a transient from the Los Angeles area who was booked into Fresno County Jail on 2 counts. We just got through saying that on how many counts. Boy, CBS, you people need some help. There was no clue that there was going to be any trouble on board the bus, Mims said. Passengers told authorities. They said he simply got up out of his seat, went up to the aisle, and attacked the driver. There was no yelling, no threats, no argument before he did it, just a direct attack on the driver, she added. It happened very quickly. He immediately stabbed the driver, too quickly for the passengers to take action on their own. The driver was actually cut in the neck. He struggled, tried to defend himself, and lost control of the bus. After authorities arrived on the scene, passengers pointed out Martinez, and he was caught as he tried to run away. I saw a dude walk fast and pull past the front of the bus, said passenger Howard Johnson. There he is again. I think they're only using his name because they like the name, you know. Who suffered only minor injuries and later was reunited at a community bus center with his wife. I'm feeling blessed, he said, as he headed for some of them clam strips and chowder at Howard Johnson's. And 57 flavors. What do they got, 37 or is it 50? How many they got?
I don't know how many they have.
I think Baskin Robbins has got 57, don't they?
Right.
And Hojo, I guess, 33?
Don't know.
Are there any more around? There was that Hojo's
sure, they're
like
around
on...
Here. They're on the beach. There's one over here by the Golden Glades. They're around. It's just, I don't know anybody that goes there anymore.
There really are still Hojos around? Because the last one I recall eating at, in fact, it was a sponsor of ours very briefly. In fact, remember they reopened it under a different name?
No.
Miami Avenue and 195th, I believe. Does that sound right?
No.
Yes, it does.
Well, it doesn't sound familiar.
Or is it Northwest 2nd Avenue and 195th? Well, whatever, whichever.
That's right over here.
Huh?
That's right over here.
Well, I'm telling you, there used to be a Hojo's right in that corner, and then it became something else, and it was a sponsor of ours for about 5 minutes till they went out of business because there's no white people in that neighborhood, in that hood.
There was the Wags over here on the corner where the BP is now. Is that the corner?
Let me ask you something. Seriously.
Yeah.
Is Miami Avenue?
You said Northwest 2nd. 441 is Northwest 2nd.
I thought 441 is like Northwest 7th.
No. Our address here, Northwest 2nd Avenue.
In addition to which, isn't that Ives Dairy right there on the corner?
Yes.
So what does that have to do with Miami Avenue?
You said over 195th. You're 5 blocks off.
Yeah. In North Miami Avenue?
Is 2 blocks from where we are.
Well, whatever the hell it is, there was a Hojo's right there, Mr. Argumentative today.
Okay.
See, first he's starting to pick on Eric and say that Eric is an emotional basket case, an emotional cripple who doesn't understand the show. He doesn't get it. He's taking everything personal. And now he's starting to argue, give me like a map and a compass. You're there. You should look right out the window where you're sitting right now.
Don't remember no Hojo anywhere near here.
There was
the Golden Glades.
As sure as I'm sitting here.
All right.
At 195th. As you're going north on Miami Avenue, you get to 100, not 195th, to 95th. See, just 100 blocks off.
Okay.
So it was a slip of the tongue, okay? 95th or 96th, whatever that is. You know, like in Schwarzertown there. which, of course,
Yeah, I'm
that,
sure it's still
that
there.
covers a lot of territory in the city of Miami. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
There was a Hojo's, 95th or 96, when you'd make the left turn there to go to I-95, but kind of like where Biscayne used to be, not too far, a few blocks from there.
Exactly.
Until all the Schwarzes closed them up. Just ask Ken Muldoon, he'll tell you.
Don't know if it's still there, but I think you're right.
No, I know it's not there. It's not there anymore. You crazy? You nuts? And like I just tried to tell you, I tried to explain to you, but you were like too busy arguing about just being 100 blocks off. It became something else, and they were a sponsor of ours for like about 10 minutes, and then they went under. They went bust. Can't imagine why. A mob of about 20 children beat a man brain dead with bats, boards, and shovels after he punched one of them in the mouth for throwing an egg at him Sunday night, Milwaukee police said. That's a horrible place. I've never been there, but I don't want to go. You know what?
Never heard good things.
Although, don't they have good bratwurst there?
Don't know.
Well, according to that thing the other day, 8 brats, $8, whatever that was, in Cleveland. I'd rather go to Cleveland. That's not a very fun place either, I don't think, although they cleaned it up supposedly. Boy, that used to be a real toilet.
Only drove through it once.
There were no white people in Cleveland. But Milwaukee's got a lot of white people. They're just like skinheads, you know, and drunks, Nazis, things like that.
Beer swilling.
Anyway, 8 young suspects were in custody yesterday, one just 10 years old. A local TV station reported, and Milwaukee police are looking for more. The victim, 36-year-old Charlie Young Jr. of Milwaukee, remained on life support. The gang chased Young out of the porch of a house in the city's north side and pummeled him. Young tried to escape into the house, reports John Jagler of CBS radio affiliate WTMJ AM. WTMJ, home of the Milwaukee Brewers, formerly the Milwaukee Braves. WTMJ. Earl Gillespie, and who was the other guy who did the Braves games? Somebody. Earl Gillespie and Dan, I don't know.
Stewart.
Dan Stewart.
Oh, we're fine.
They were hurling objects and using their truncheons to go after this man and go inside the house. They came inside the house and pulled the man out, said the building's owner, Gerard Johnson, no relation to Howard. If they had any kind of heart, they wouldn't have did that, he said. Oh, why do they keep doing that? Why do they make direct quotes off these illiterate, pathetic, subhumans. They wouldn't have did that. Authorities, and this is on CBSNews.com, okay? I mean, can't they clean up the guy's language a little bit, especially when they're using his name, Gerard Johnson? You gotta keep your Johnson straight, man. That's what the Mad Dog says. If they had any kind of heart, they wouldn't have did that. Authorities did not know Monday night while Young was nearly 4 miles from his home whether or not the kids knew him and where the confrontation started. It's unknown what charges the boys in custody will face, but they could be charged as soon as today. Police continue to search for as many as 18 other juveniles involved in the assault. Well, that's lovely. Speaking of that, oh, now wait a minute, what's this?
But that is the most information we have right now. It's coming from our affiliates KTLA and KTTV.
This chase was going on for quite a while.
If you look closely, we can see that the policemen have their guns drawn.
High-speed chase in L.A.
They're not taking any chances there. It's an older model Chevy pickup truck with the name of this particular model escapes me. Yeah, well, the cab of the rear cab of it fell off in the crash. If they get the camera shot over, you see where they came.
Why is it that so many of them damn high-speed chases happen in L.A.? Remember the one we had on Alligator Rally?
Right.
A couple of years ago? That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of stopping the guys like and blocking them off at the toll booth thing there, remember that? Then they let them keep going.
I don't get that.
And jeopardize the safety of a whole bunch of other people. But that's just the way we do it in Florida, okay? We don't like doing things right. Anyway, speaking of attacks, 3 arrested for a gay actor attack. West Hollywood, California. 3 men were arrested for an investigation of beating a gay actor with a baseball bat outside his home last month, and a suspected hate crime attack. They started suspecting when a guy ran up to him and yelled,
"You're gay."
Los Angeles County Sheriff's Captain Linda Castro announced the arrest during a news conference late yesterday. She declined to identify the men. This is what we've been waiting for the entire month of September for, Castro said of the arrest. This has been a month from hell. Investigators are looking into whether the suspects were involved in other assaults on gay men in West Hollywood, including one that took place just hours after actor Treve Brody was attacked. Is that his name?
Okay.
Brody, 33, was attacked on Labor Day weekend after he embraced a male friend. Brody lay near death for several days. The friend was also struck but not seriously injured. Another man was similarly attacked the same night, and the fourth was beaten later in September by 2 men yelling anti-gay epithets and wielding a bat and a pipe. The attacks put the city on alert. Police stepped up patrols. West Hollywood, a city of about 36,000 residents, is a major destination for gay, lesbian, and transgendered people. No Schmidt. When Castro said the men were in custody, a small crowd standing by nearby burst into applause. Okay, good, we got him. Now see, why did I do that? Wasn't that in poor taste?
Yes, insensitive.
Okay. I could have just, we could have just gone.
Okay.
That would have been good enough. 10:42 at 560 WQAM. Tom Lehman says, okay for you, baby. He's got a fantastic Neil Rogers deal waiting for you for all the people, the wonderful folks who listen to the show like he does every day. He's probably listening right now. How's it going, eh, Tom? What about that Ron McLean on Hockey Night in Canada? What are we going to do about that? Anyway, this is why he created the Neil deal at Hallett, and this is why we have no new copy from Bob Eisenberg, because we just keep reshuffling from one month back to the last month, back to another month, just back and forth and back. Because Bob, can you imagine Bob sitting down at a typewriter and that muskrat falling like off to an angle on his head? Save big dollars on all Pontiacs and GMCs in stock at Hallett right now. Just mentioned you heard about it here on the world-famous Neil Rogers Show. Stop by Hallett Pontiac, GMC, 13401 South Dixie Highway. That's US 1 across from the Falls, where every vehicle is marked with the lowest price. Mention old Neil and save even more right now at Hallett. And while you're there, be sure and take a peek at the whole line of GMC SUVs, including the exciting new Envoy, which was voted by Motor Trend as SUV of the Year, and the all-new Vibe SUV that's got the power of a sports car, but certainly not a Corvette. Hallett's also got a great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs if you're looking for a dependable used vehicle. And, of course, like I always tell you, credit's not a problem at Hallett, no matter how many people turned you down. If everybody in the world turned you down for credit trying to buy a vehicle, Hallett is around. They'll do it for you. So get you a Neil Rogers deal at Hallett Pontiac GMC, 13401 South Dixie Highway. That's US 1 right across from the Falls, where they've been going great for 35 years plus. Open every day, 7 days a week. Hallett Pontiac GMC, who do be professional grade.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I dancing monkey.
No juice today, Judge Ito had to say. The jury's gone away on a busman's holiday. No juice today, so find another way to get you through the day, 'cause you won't see OJ.
No.
Why don't they know how long it's gonna take? Now they all go and take another break. They waste our time with nothing to defend. Just fry the guy and bring it to an end. No juice today, that's too bad for OJ. He can't defend his rage, he's locked up in his cage.
10:47 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. We got Joe Rose for the Mad Dog coming up at 1 Hank at 3. And then we got all that baseball stuff, playoff baseball. Angels and the Yankees again, and a Crow, of course, precedes that if you can stomach that. Speaking of stomaching things, and did you see the three murder suspects?
Yes, I did.
They got them all.
Good.
Which is kind of depressing, it's no fun now. It ended too fast.
It's over.
And you'll notice at least the one of the three, I didn't see the other two, did you?
No.
But the one guy that had, you saw two of them, were they both white?
Or beaners.
No, see, there you go again. White. This guy looked as white as you are, okay? Like I said, a beaner. And, he was the one guy that, here we go, we're back on there again. Chase ends in Orange County, California.
In California, first alive picture as we just...
The one guy that had his hands behind his head was a white guy, okay?
California, in southern...
And maybe that sounds like a racial thing to you, but last thing we need is another Rodney King deal
like a racial thing to me.
That's not that.
Sure it is.
It's like a high-speed chase.
Sure it is. You called him a beaner already.
The 91 freeway in Anaheim, not too far from Disneyland in Southern California.
Just like that guy on the Greyhound bus, and he said beaner, and of course you were right.
Buck, we believe we're getting word they're wanted as murder suspects, although we're working on getting more information on that from that high-speed chase.
And the reason I'm concerned about that is because while that guy was backing up there with his hands behind his head, I'm thinking the LAPD, being as brilliant as they are, probably shoot him like on worldwide TV, somebody get trigger happy. Oh, gee, I didn't mean it, because they bumble everything. Speaking of bumbling, now this is an update on the story we had yesterday, but it just keeps getting better. A man dubbed by authorities as the bumbling bank robber had his 2 gold teeth knocked out as he ran into traffic and was hit by a van while fleeing a heist, FBI agents in Miami said. See, we had the other part. I don't think we had the part about the teeth, did we?
His teethus.
The suspect, who also may have shot himself accidentally, escaped in a waiting getaway car, but police recovered his teeth from the street and held him as evidence, the FBI said yesterday. The suspect walked into a Watch Over Your Money bank branch in North Miami Beach Monday, pulled a gun from his pocket as he approached the teller and demanded that she fill a bag with money, the FBI said. The teller gave him an undisclosed sum of money, and he turned to flee, discharging the gun as he pulled it from his pocket, or stuffed it back into his, but whatever. It's unknown at this time if the robber shot himself when the gun discharged, said the FBI in a statement headlined, Update on Bumbling Bank Robber. The suspect ran out of the bank onto the street, was hit by a white van and dragged under it, authorities said. He managed to get up and run to a waiting car that sped away, leaving his teeth behind his teeth, the investigators said. Police and FBI were looking for him at hospital emergency rooms and medical centers. How about a dentist office? The suspect was described as a tall, thin black man in his late 20s to early 30s. How do you like that, huh? He left his teeth behind. Not a good idea. Don't leave your gold teeth behind after you pull a heist. Magazine publisher sues Rosie O'Donnell for backing out of Rosie magazine. Uh-oh.
On the property where the skull, the leg bone, teeth, and hair were found, all they found yesterday, though, were animal bones. At this point, authorities are saying that they believe that what they have found here, the person who was found here, died in the same way as the parents did. And we talked to a woman who works on the property where the skull was found.
They're still testing the skull. They want to check out the crossbones first. Looks like it's poor little Jennifer Short, you know?
Yeah.
The publisher of Rosie magazine sued Rosie O'Donnell for $100 million yesterday for abruptly pulling out of the venture last month. Gruner and Jar Printing and Publishing Company said in court papers that the former talk show host breached her contract and publicly disparaged the magazine when she quit Rosie on September 18. A call to O'Donnell's spokesman, of course, was not returned. The publisher and O'Donnell had been feuding for months about the direction of the magazine. Rosie debuted in April of 2001. The joint venture gave O'Donnell and G&J each a 50% stake in a business. During the first 6 months of the year, Rosie's total average paid circulation was 3.5 million, the 13th highest magazine circulation nationwide for the first half of this year, according to Advertising Age magazine. Among other things, O'Donnell and G&J have reportedly argued repeatedly about what the magazine cover should look like. Maybe she was upset because they had Porky Pig on the cover. G&J, or was it Petunia Pig? I'm sorry. G&J, the international newspaper and magazine arm of German media giant Bertelsmann, also publishes Parents, Fitness, Fast Company, and Family Circle magazine. Family Circle Jerk magazine. The fact that Rosie magazine had a circulation like that, what does that tell you? There must be an awful lot of shut-ins out there, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
God. A lot of real disgusting, fat, porky shut-ins. Look for the QAM van today from 4 to 6 at the Publix located at 10755 Northwest 58th Street. Stop by to win prizes, and the first 60 people to come in and say, Cash Bonanza, will win free scratch-off tickets, compliments to the Florida Lottery. I'm sure Miguel will be handling this.
Yes, he will.
So when you see Miguel today, say Cash Bonanza, or just say Lauren Green, or Michael Landon, or Dan Blocker, or who was the other one?
Pernell Roberts.
Pernell Roberts. They're all dead.
Yes.
Or just say, they're all dead, and Miguel will know exactly what you're talking about. That's 4 to 6 at the Publix at 10755 Northwest 58th Street. Just look for the QM van and lovely Miguel. And the first 60 people to say Cash Bonanza or any of the other stuff I said will win the free scratch-off tickets, compliments to the Florida Lottery.
Oh!
Let's hear it, baby. So all we want is just one. Just one for like 6 or 8 million. Doesn't have to be like 100 million. Doesn't have to be the big one. You see where we're really stupid? Those of us who just don't buy the lottery tickets because it's a tremendous waste of time. See, I should be playing it here because at least if you play it here, even though it's crappy Canadian money, you get the whole amount in cash right up front.
I thought you always played the Canuck Lottery.
I never played it in my life.
Didn't you send Rimmer money or something like that?
No, that was the lottery down there when it got up to that humongous amount. That was 3 weekends ago or something like that. He played it for me down there, and we had the first 4 numbers. Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me of that because he owes me $22 when I get back. Yeah, you know something? Oh, it's a good thing you kept that in mind because do you think he would volunteered it?
I'll bet you those $22 that you won't get that from him.
No, let me tell you right now, there's no chance that I won't get that cash. Okay, no chance. But anyway, up here, if you win the lottery, you get the whole amount. No taxes, no nothing. None of this annuity crap like the scam they pulled down there in Florida.
As it should be.
So if you won like $5 million here, now granted that's only like a little over $3 million US, I'll take it. I'll take the $3 million cash. Right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't see me no more, I guarantee you that. Bye-bye. Hey, have a great life. Oh, you'd never leave us, Neil. Yeah, right.
Oh, what would you do if you didn't have the show to vent your screen?
Yeah, I'll draw you a picture, okay? I'll draw you a diaphragm.
No, thanks.
God, what a joke. Yeah, you only got a little over 4 years left. Oh, I look at that thing. Look at that. Now my cell phone is ringing. And you know who that probably is? That's probably Rimmer. Hang on a second.
All right. No.
If it's free, it's me. I think you got the wrong number, sir. Who you call? Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh.
I always get these wrong numbers on here.
Everybody does.
Huh?
Everybody does.
Oh, cell phones, you get a million wrong numbers. That's why I got this 954, so I can get a lot of wrong numbers. If I had a Canadian number up here on the cell phone, which I do on my regular phone, I wouldn't be getting all these goddamn phony.
get
But I thought maybe it was Rimmer.
I know.
I thought maybe it was Rimmer bitching you out for like reminding me about that $22. Well, he'll probably give it to me in Canadian currency, which is about $8. You know, something like that. Nevertheless, whatever you get, kiss the ground. Consider it a blessing. Justice Department says FBI has not assessed terror threat. The FBI has failed to develop a comprehensive assessment of the risk of a terrorist threat facing the U.S. despite a promise to do so, according to a U.S. Justice Department review of the FBI counterterrorism program released yesterday. The Office of the Inspector General criticized the FBI for not yet incorporating the likely risk of terrorism into its strategic plan. Because the FBI has not completed a systematic written assessment of the most likely terrorism scenarios, it may not have fully identified the specific nature of the threats or could focus its attention and resources to prepare adequately and respond effectively given the assessed risk, the report said. The conclusions of Inspector General Glenn Fine are contained in an unclassified 13-page executive summary made available at the Justice Department. The full 131-page audit report, classified secret, was provided only to top officials at the Justice Department and Congress. The Inspector General initiated the review of the FBI's management of its counterterrorism resources after Attorney General John Ashcroft and FBI Director Robert Mueller announced earlier this year the prevention of future attacks is now the paramount mission of the Justice Department and the FBI. How do you like that? But the FBI, as usual, very sad. 294 votes on our poll. If the election for governor were being held right now today, who would you vote for? Bill McBride, 155. Jeb Bush, 92. Mo Howard David, 34. And I won't vote 13. 13 people say they still wouldn't vote, no matter what you do. Of course, they're probably all about like 10 years old. Now, 10-year-olds are in school, right?
Right.
Plus, they dasn't be listening to this show because we say things like asshole on this show, and 10-year-olds certainly ought not be hearing like assholes, okay? 4 minutes. Did you see a Dateline last night by any chance on NBC?
No, I did not.
About the teenagers in that party and the two beautiful girls, the teenage girls that both wound up dying, and one stabbing the other one, and then she took an overdose.
No.
Committed suicide. That was
tragic.
Sad. What a waste. What kind of caca is going on? You know what I'm saying? Too much caca. Anyway, let's talk about something good, not caca. Castaway Seafood Company. They know seafood, man. They can smell it. They pride themselves on serving you the freshest seafood under the sun. Fresh fish that's never frozen, prepared just the way you like it. Grilled, blackened, or broiled. Signature Castaway dishes include sesame-seared tuna, cracked conch, and unbelievable homemade chowders. Castaways also features grilled certified Angus beef, burgers, filet mignon, or huge, juicy, delicious, mouth-watering New York strip. Castaways offers great daily lunch and early bird specials, and every Wednesday night, like tonight, is karaoke and ladies' night with free drinks for the ladies. Join the Castaways tailgate party at the Hogfish Bar for a weekend. I wonder if Rosie will be at the Hogfish Bar for a weekend and Monday night football specials while you watch your favorite games. The Castaway Seafood Company's got full bar, open 7 days a week, and is located on the southwest corner of University Drive and Griffin Road in Davie, and there was never a Hojo's there, by the way. If you're looking to cater your next home or office party, Castaways can do it as well. Castaway Seafood Company, where they love George like crazy. I think they got like a George blow-up doll there.
I love them.
Castaway Seafood with what is it? Seafood so fresh, it'll slap you on your ugly puss.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I fucked them up!
Up the butt.
You've heard the secrets behind Saddam Hussein's mistress, but that's just half the story. Find out who Saddam Hussein really is when ABC confronts Saddam Hussein's baby's mama.
Saddam, his sorry ass ain't never taken. And where is my check? He always late, ain't never on time.
Saddam Hussein, the most methodical Arab leader in the 20th century. Find out the deep secrets of Saddam Hussein.
I told this fool to come pick me up, and he came and picked me up on this busted ass camel. A camel? Who I look like? And that camel was spitting on my dashiki. I was like,
Find out how he really is in bed.
I don't know how he had 15 wives. 15 wives? He couldn't even hang 15 seconds with me, okay?
Why did you stay with him?
Why did I stay with him? He got dollars, okay? He got Benzes, Beamers, Bentleys, all the bees, okay? He got paper.
Don't miss Saddam's baby's mama.
And am I getting paid for this?
Tonight on ABC.
It's 11:01 at 560. Chase ends in Orange County, California. Did you see the thing where they had the yellow schmata over the body that's lying there?
Yeah, we don't know who that is.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they haven't told us yet.
It's somebody who's dead, obviously.
Right.
And like I was saying, if it would have been three dark-complected guys, we'd have had like maybe three new NFL football coaches. If we could have just rounded them up.
Listen, this is the picture we have here of the victim. No question or no word rather on the identity or even if it's a male or female.
No, it's just a yellow schmott that covered up a dead body, is what it is. And they keep focusing. There it is, and you won't see that more than 600 times. Well, now they got a stretcher. Now, who the hell are they taking away on the stretcher? I don't think they put dead people on the stretcher, do they?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
No, they're going to put them on something.
No, they're working on somebody on the ground. Oh, no, don't tell me they shot somebody, not the LAPD. Oh, no, please pray that it's somebody white. And I see you're laughing. I'm telling you, man. You know what happens out there?
Yeah, riots. Yeah, but it's out there.
If they look at dark complected, and Johnny Cockring will be out there, and Jesse, I'm from Jackson, and his
just think of all the good watching hours and hours.
His illegitimate kids will be out there, and all these people. Boy, you'll have another jungle jam if you don't watch it. Oh, speaking of that, this is a great story you just faxed me from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. You see where this old bag was from?
No.
Oh, you'll love it. Elderly woman slams car into Portsmouth liquor store. Portsmouth, New Hampshire. An elderly woman and employees of a state liquor store escaped serious injury yesterday when the woman mistakenly hit her car's accelerator and crashed through the glass front of the building. Irma Stormer, 84, of Port St. Lucie, Florida, was meeting friends at the Portsmouth Traffic Circle liquor store when the accident happened around 1 p.m. Stormer was in the area visiting her daughter who lives in Portland, Maine. According to state police, Stormer was attempting to park the car when she erroneously stepped on the accelerator instead of the brake. I don't even know why this is news. This happens like every couple of hours in South Florida.
Right.
Of course, she is from Port St. Lucie. The car jumped the sidewalk, sped across the parking lot, and smashed through the store's concrete and glass lobby, pinning the vehicle between the metal door frames. Emergency workers had to use a saw to cut the driver's side door off to free the woman. Stormer was not injured and left for lunch. For lunch as planned with her friends. Maybe she was leaving for the early bird. Nice going, honey.
No wonder she was in a hurry.
And that's a good idea. All you old farts who shouldn't be driving, go take your damn crap someplace else.
If you don't get the appetizer
town.
order in before 5 o'clock, they charge you full price.
Now, how did I leave this story out? I had this a long time ago in my hand, and then you interrupted me with some psychotic crap about Eric and how emotional he is, and that's why he overeats. Isn't that what you said? You blamed me for it.
It's all your fault.
I'm not that hungry today. I think for lunch I'm only going to go to like J. Muggs where they give you too much food. You know what they have that's great?
What?
Oh, that's right. You don't like it. I keep telling you this.
Broccoli.
And you don't want any part of it. Cheddar broccoli soup. See, if you didn't know the broccoli was in there, because it's not like big pieces of broccoli. It's like if you didn't know it was in there, you wouldn't even taste it. And it's good for you. See, that would be a good way for you to get your broccoli.
Across the room.
Unlike the problem-plagued September 10th primary, Tuesday's municipal contest in Palmetto Bay in North Miami yesterday were blissfully uneventful.
All right.
Let's hear it, baby. We're doing it. By the 7 p.m. poll closing last night, few voter complaints had been reported in the relatively simple elections that involved only 15 of the county's 754 precincts in Dade, less than 2% of the total. Results from both elections were available by 8:30 last night. Ain't that good?
That's great.
All of the precincts opened on time. All of the machines worked, said Gisela Salas, the county assistant election supervisor. So far, so good, she be saying. Salas said she received only a few complaints that voting machines were not working. Election workers had to replace flashcards used to install the electronic ballot displays on 5 of those machines. The winning candidate in the North Miami Council 4 district election said he was satisfied with the process. We have realized that the election department dedicated themselves to making sure the errors that took place on September 10 did not occur today, Councilman-elect Jean Monestein said. Now that sounds like some kind of a Haitian dude.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Don't know.
It is. Jean Monestein. The system is not error-proof. Nevertheless, we trust the system. And then at the end of his comments, I think the proof is in the pudding because he said, he said that. County elections officials hope the smooth voting for North Miami Council race and the Palmetto Bay mayoral and council contest was a preview of the November 5th vote, though they were only a small-scale model of that much larger election. The county tested some of the changes instituted since the 9/10 fiasco by stationing 3 county employees and a representative of the voting machine manufacturer at every polling location to help the volunteer poll workers. We're calling it the Triangle, Salas said. It's our new and improved precinct setup. At precincts such as Premier Eglise Baptist Horeb in North Miami. See what I'm saying? It's a Haitian thing,
yes.
man. Poll workers outnumbered voters much of the day. We had more observers, commissioners, and aides than we had voters, said Gwen McDuffie, the precinct clerk. I don't want to say they're being overzealous. I guess they just want to make sure that everything goes right after what happened last time. We don't need no more embarrassment, is what they're trying to say. Oh, agreement ends Falwell lawsuit challenging Virginia church property limits. The Reverend Jerry Falwell Church and State of Virginia agreed to end Falwell's federal lawsuit over an 18th century law limiting how much land a church can own. Lawyers on both sides in Falwell's suit agreed yesterday that the law does not apply to the Thomas Road Baptist Church, which plans to expand.
Oi!
The church was incorporated in April after U.S. District Judge Norman K. Moon, no relation to Wally Moon, struck down another state law that had barred churches from becoming corporations which are not subject to land limits. Remember Wally Moon?
No.
Bill Verdon?
No.
Tommy Burgess? Joe Cunningham? Moon agreed with the lawyer's decision yesterday, said he'll rule that the property restrictions do not apply to Falwell's church. The decision made a trial on Falwell's constitutional challenge of the rule unnecessary. Well, that's good, because that'll give more time for important things like the Teletubbies and Tinky Winky and Winky Dinky. I guarantee when he heard about Winky Dink, he just about flipped his piece, you know what? In fact, if Jack Berry were still alive, which he's not, I guarantee he'd be hauling his ass into court to sue him over some kind of fag allegations about Winky Dink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the priest usually does when the altar boy lifts up his skirt? A little winky dink, huh?
Winks at it.
Wink and a nudge and a, you know that?
And a nod.
Right. American media keep the liberals invisible, says Antonio Zerbisius. You know, some of the copies of this stuff that you fact good articles, but the fact that I can read this is like a major miracle.
They're bad on this end, so I can only imagine.
Man. Not that I'm patting myself on the eyelid or anything like that, but good God. There's little media time for critics of U.S. culture, writes Antonio Zerbisius yesterday in the Toronto Star. Oh, I read this. Well, I guess if I would have clipped it out of the Star, I could read it better than. But anyway, Sunday night, way up in the nosebleed section of the digital dial on MSNBC, it's channel 133 here on Rogers Digital Cable. I was thrilled to land on a rerun of the news conference that Michael Moore of Roger and Me and Stupid White Man gave at the Toronto International Film Festival to promote his newest documentary, Bowling for Columbine, which borrows its title from the horrible high school massacre in Colorado in 1999. No, MSNBC wasn't actually running the news conference. Rogers Cable, which had taped it during the fest for its telecast on its community channel 10, was merely subbing regular MSNBC programming with the Newser in order to fulfill its CanCom commitments for carrying the channel in Canada, but that's another column. They have to carry so much Canadian content, so all weekend long they have these press conferences on MSNBC instead of the regular programming, and it sucks. Moore, who seems to be far more at home here than in his native USA, was defending his polemical film about guns and the American psyche, a film that won a special jury prize at Cannes, also earned a sustained 13-minute ovation from the audience. Moore complained that American critics had not given Bowling for Columbine the attention it deserves, that nobody had reported that the country's largest theater chain, which is based in Colorado, has refused to exhibit the film when it opens later this month. Big surprise. Moore's anti-corporate left-liberal films, TV shows, and books tend not to play well with the corporate conservative media. For example, his Stupid White Man, which was almost shredded by the publisher last fall for being patriotically incorrect, has been on all the bestseller lists for nearly a year, but is yet to be reviewed by the New York Times and other major papers. His last TV series, The Awful Truth, was made in Canada by the Halifax-based Salter Street Films, which also co-financed Columbine. I can count on one hand the number of times that I've seen him on screen on U.S. TV since Stupid White Men became a hit, and yet Ann Coulter, his polar opposite, both physically and politically, is seen all over the dial, screeching the same half-truths he wrote in her best-selling screed, slander liberal lies about the American right. Is it just because she has better legs than Moore that she gets all this exposure, including a substitute hosting gig on CNN's Crossfire? Or is it because, contrary to her contention, and that many readers have emailed complaints about my left-wing ravings and the Star's commie slant, the liberal media ain't so liberal? Sure, there are islands in the might is right media ocean. On the magazine racks, you'll find Harper's and The Nation, to name two of the few. The Internet is blessedly filled with alternative aisles. In Canada, we can count on CBC and TVO not to always run everything through the this is good for the market filter. But in the U.S., aside from NPR, there's not much, not even PBS. That's right, not even PBS. Consider how last month even the much-respected Jim Lehrer gave Defense Secretary Rumsfeld a free pass, never challenging him when he repeatedly fudged the facts. For example, Rumsfeld reiterated the Bushmit propaganda. That's beautiful. Oh, I see Bushist. I thought it said Bushmit. The Bushist propaganda about how Saddam Hussein threw the UN weapons inspectors out when in fact they were pulled out. Last spring, PBS ran a superb 6-hour documentary titled Commanding Heights, The Battle for the World Economy, based on the book by David Yergin and Joseph Stanislaw. It's an unabashed appreciation of the free market, a tribute to Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan, Milton Friedman, and their inspiration, Nobel Prize-winning economist Friedrich von Hayek. So one-sided is it that the Wall Street Journal headlined its review of it, PBS likes capitalism more than commercial networks do, calling it a paean to private enterprise. This series was not only originally co-funded by Enron, it ran just as the markets were imploding and CEOs were getting busted for being too free of regulation. Meanwhile, I can get dozens of provocative and prize-winning films PBS will not run, including Danny Schechter's Counting on Democracy about the scandalous 2000 vote in Florida. Schechter, an Emmy-winning TV journalist, author, and weblogger, says PBS rejected it because it's biased. Instead, it'll run Who Counts, a political special starring Saturday Night Live alumnus Daryl Hammond doing his Al Gore impersonation. One PBS show that does not get behind the news is Now with Bill Moyer. To watch it, I tape it Sundays at dawn off KCTS in Seattle. That's because, like many other PBS stations, WNED in Buffalo doesn't air it. So much for liberal media, which is why I root for Michael Moore, even when he goes over the top and or edge. Maybe his next film should take on CNN. Apologize for the crappy reading, but like I said, the print is like so mushy, man. It's like mushed potatoes, like mashed potato yeast is what it looks like here. 320 votes on our gubernatorial election poll. With the election's only a little over a month away. Today is October 2nd, November 5. My birthday will be the big elections, man, the midterms and the gubernatorial election in Florida. Who would you vote for if the election were today? Bill McBride, 171. Jeb Bush, 97. Mo Howard David, 35. I won't vote 17. 17 relentless bastards out there who just won't get off their dead ass. 12 minutes after 11 at 560 WQM. Pompano Park is back in action with live racing every Friday and Saturday night. There's a new first race post time at 7:15 p.m. And for the first time in the 40-year history of the track, there will be free clubhouse and grandstand admission all season long. As always, of course, there's free general parking. There are 2 new wagers this season at Pompano Park. Come play the Super with a $10,000 bonus payout, or try one of the 2 Pick 4 wagers. This Friday night, October 4th, is Seascape night, and there'll be free prize drawings to win one of 5 trips for 2 on the Seascape Casino dinner cruise. Got that?
Yes.
On the Seascape Casino dinner cruise. Also on the program Friday is the $48,000 finals of the Florida Sunshine Stakes for trotters, and then Saturday, it's the big $48,000 Sunshine Stake finals for pacers. For the next 2 weeks, Pompano Park will be open for live racing every Friday and Saturday. And, of course, don't forget the track is still open every day of your life, 7 days and nights a week for simulcasting starting at noon. But please don't forget the new post time during live racing, 7:15 at Pompano Park on Powerline Road, a block south of Atlantic Boulevard. Don't forget new post time. Keep saying it over and over again, Steve. 7:15 p.m. at prestigious Pompano Park. Plunge your guts out.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Like Neil's poll.
I just can't stop pooping. My butt is really sore. I don't know what I've eaten. Oh God, here comes some more. My bathroom's foul because of my doo-doo. I wouldn't go in there if I was you. I'll spray in there because it smells PU. A stinky foul movement just for you. It wasn't number 1, it's number 2. I wouldn't go in there if I was you.
No. And maybe Fat Boy was just in there, you never know. Let's hope not. 11:17 at 560 WQM. How's he doing, Pally? How's old Fat Boy doing?
He's wheeling around.
Now, is he ever going to get out of that chair, or is this just...
No.
Or is he going to, are they going to wheel him in that chair to the pine box, to the piano case?
I know he's got the cast off, and he's just wearing a boot now.
Did you call him a cast off?
A cast away.
Charges dropped in cannibalism case. I think this is a great segue. Great Falls, Montana. Now, you've been there, haven't you?
Sure.
An inmate and former mental patient accused of butchering a 10-year-old boy and feeding him to the neighbors likely won't face murder and kidnapping charges because the alleged victim's mother believes her son is alive. Zachary Ramsey's mother, Rachel Howard, said yesterday she was prepared to testify she did not believe Nathaniel Bar Jonah had killed her son in 1996, prompting prosecutors to drop their case. I did not want Bar Jonah to be convicted of a crime I don't believe he did, Howard said. In an interview in her attorney's office, Howard said her belief is based on several things, including a videotape she says shows her son at age 12. She said police did not believe the boy in the video was her son. Bar Jonah, 45, already serving a 130-year prison sentence in Montana for kidnapping and sexual assault in a separate case, was accused of abducting Zachary while he walked to school. The boy's body was never found, and authorities have said evidence suggests that Bar Jonah killed the boy and disposed of his body in meals served to unsuspecting neighbors. Searchers of Bar Jonah's house nearly 3 years ago turned up lists of children's names, including Zachary, and encrypted letters in which Bar Jonah wrote about such dishes as little boy stew, little boy pot pies, and lunches served on the patio with roasted child. Prosecutor Brant Light said he would ask that the charges be thrown out ahead of a trial scheduled to begin next week. A judge has to approve the request. In light of Rachel Howard's testimony, I don't think there's any way we could win this case, Light said. Defense attorney Don Vernay said he was pleased with the prosecutor's decision, but added that it was confident Barjona would have been acquitted at trial. What difference does it make if he's serving a 130-year prison sentence?
I don't know.
Barjona was convicted earlier this year of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old Great Falls boy and hanging the boy's 8-year-old cousin from a kitchen ceiling. Those assaults occurred in 1998 and 9. Barjona has appealed that verdict. Barjona spent 11 years in a Massachusetts mental hospital after one attack in which authorities said he tried to kill 2 boys. Before that, he forced an 8-year-old boy into his car and choked him with his belt. Shortly after his release, he assaulted another boy. Yeah, let's keep leaving these people out, okay? And let him do it again and again.
Special that they had about him that I saw that just made you want to puke because of the whole way that he got out and just the slipshod system. They had him in prison or in a mental nut house several times, and they let him out every single time.
Sounds like Ted Bundy to me.
Oh, but he didn't escape. They let him out.
I understand, but it's the same difference. Like the one time Bundy just walked out the window, we kind of like hopped out, went in doubt, let's hop out. They were in the other room having a little discussion. They just left him alone in there in the interrogation room, and he just kind of like hopped out the window and wandered off into Never Never Land. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. He waved.
Anyway, 4 men claim they were molested as teens. White Plains, New York. 4 men are alleging that they were sexually molested 3 decades ago when they were teenagers preparing for the priesthood by members of the Salesian Roman Catholic Order. Salacious Catholic Order. In a lawsuit filed in state court in White Plains, the men claim Salesian officials, salacious officials, including one who is now an auxiliary bishop, knew the abuse was taking place, which seems to be par for the course, eh? The law firm representing the order said the case should be dismissed because the statute of limitations has run out. The Salesians' comment is that although they appreciate the plaintiffs feel that they're in pain, the Salesians feel these allegations took place so many years ago, said Seth Taubey of McCarter and English. But the plaintiff's lawyer, Marcia Goffin, said, we want to ensure that the defendants over whom they still have authority no longer deal with kids. We want the Salesians to recognize what happened to our clients. The suit seeks an unspecified amount of damages. The abuse allegedly occurred at the Salesians Junior Seminary in Goshen, New York. You know Goshen?
I know in Egypt.
Goshen, formerly the home of the, what big Hamiltonian used to be in Goshen, right? The big harness race? You know about that.
No.
The 4 men said they were repeatedly sexually molested while living in the seminary between 1959 and 73. 69 and 73. One plaintiff, Joseph Lemmy of Monmouth County, New Jersey, said the Reverend Emilio Alui, then the seminary director, dismissed Lemmy from the seminary when he heard the abuse, saying Lemmy was not priest material. Alui is now an auxiliary bishop in Boston. He's not a defendant in the case which names the Roman Catholic Order and 2 top officials of its New Rochelle-based Eastern Province. Another one of these goddamn priest stories that are popping up like all over the place, but nobody cares anymore. It's not, not romantic and exciting and hootsy-tootsy and hotsy-totsy anymore.
What's that got to do with Iraq?
That's right. Well, here's something that does. See, we don't waste any time. This is from TomPaine.com. The Defense Budget and Wartime Profiteering by Stephen Rosenfeld, who's a commentary editor for TomPaine.com. He says, since the founding of the Republic, many of the richest Americans have made their fortunes from war. In his book, Wealth and Democracy, Kevin Phillips documents such early capitalist highlights as John Hancock supplying the troops in his era, the northern industrialists who prospered during the Civil War, and in the 20th century, the many companies and industries that secured government contracts during wartime. The progression includes modern counterparts like Halliburton, the firm headed by Dick Cheney before he became vice president, which is now supplying U.S. military bases near Afghanistan. Congress is now poised to pass the biggest increase in defense spending since Ronald Reagan's administration. The House and Senate versions of the defense budget, which have yet to be reconciled and adopted, authorize roughly $400 billion in spending for the federal 2003 fiscal year, according to the CBO. The bill also commits taxpayers to additional outlays of $400 billion between 2002 and 2007. The defense budget increases itself larger than any country's entire defense budget, with the sole exception of Russia, as reported in the Washington Post and elsewhere. The U.S. defense budget is larger than the total defense budgets of the next 25 nations combined, but it's not all U.S. military spending. The defense budget doesn't include the entire Pentagon budget for Star Wars, which will militarize space with new nuclear weapons. It doesn't include unforeseen spending for the war on terrorism. It doesn't include the cost of a new war with Iraq, and it doesn't include yet another plum for American weapons makers, what NATO allies may spend updating their militaries. All of this has made defense stocks a bright spot in an otherwise gloomy market. Yet the New York Times reported September 22nd that military spending has been rising, but so far at least there has been no boom for the stocks of the Pentagon's big contractors, but that's not exactly the case. The Times piece cited Standard & Poor's Aerospace and Defense Stock Index, which said 2001 wasn't as good a year as 2000 for these companies. Part of that statistic is due to mergers and acquisitions in the industry this year, but don't be fooled. Leading business publications report defense contractors will be doing well for years to come, and they identify companies that have done quite well since 9/11. Take Raytheon, for example, which had $6.3 billion in Pentagon contracts in 2000. Its stock, according to Barron's Online, is up 13% from a year ago. Shares of Lockheed Martin, the world's largest military contractor, with $15 billion in Pentagon contracts in 2000, are within 10% of its all-time high, according to Barron's. The journal also predicted that missile defense spending should be good for Boeing and TRW, which had $12 billion and $2 billion in Pentagon contracts in 2000, respectively. Indeed, market analysts have buy recommendations for stocks for most of the leading U.S. weapons makers. The sabers are rattling a bit more loudly in Washington, and Wall Street is noticing, wrote David Kansas, the Wall Street Journal Online deputy managing editor, on September 3rd, perhaps stating the obvious. He goes on to quote a New York investor who says his firm is buying a basket of defense stocks, and it's not just because of pending action in Iraq. There's also the economy, and the easiest way for government to increase spending and to boost the economy is by spending more on defense. But what's good for Wall Street and the defense industry is not always good for the nation. Even in a new political era defined by terrorist threats, there's a big difference between spending on legitimate national security needs and opening up a new global arms bazaar led by the United States and its corporate weapons makers. When Congress takes up the 2003 defense budget and other military spending bills in coming weeks, it'll not just be committing tax dollars for years to come. Congress will be helping a handful of companies and their top shareholders secure their fortunes. While that's perfectly consistent with American history, much of it comes at a taxpayer expense while making the world a less safe place for the rest of us. Writes Steve Rosenfeld on TomPayne.com. Hey, listen, Zion America, baby. 26 past 11 at 560 WQAM. With your busy lifestyle, you need all the energy you can to get to feel healthy. Oleomed is one of the products that will help you keep you in good health and feeling your best. Oleomed contains that super-duper olive oil I've been telling you about, combined with good stuff, vitamins, minerals, and herbals, to promote health for your heart, for your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and your prostate, all in an easy-to-take soft gel capsule you just pop in your old mouth. Oleomed's got supplements to promote health in all different parts of your body, in your circulatory system, your digestive, your endocrine system, your skin and your bones, even your mind, all using the benefits of the finest, the purest, the nicest olive oil that money can buy. And Oleomed has products for men and ladies, too. Oleomed is a stupendous, exciting product that's helped thousands of men and women all over town help them stay fit. And you can pick it up at Whole Food Markets, Walgreens, Sedano's, and Navarro Pharmacy. If you'd like to get more information about Oleomed, call their toll-free number, 1-866-OLEOMED. That's 1-866-OLEOMED. And you can also order this great new product online at oleomedamerica.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Go f*** yourself.
Now, Iraqi President Saddam Hussein's mistress, Parasula Lampsos.
First off, let me say that I met Saddam Hussein on the line. He was in the MDBL chat room. That's married dictator, but looking. He sent me the IM that says ASL. That's age, sex, location. I come to find out later. We had much to have in the common. We both like the moonlit walks, the white pizza with the broccoli, and musical group The Wiggles. Next thing I know, I'm in the Baghdad Best Western, laying on a pile of pillows. I thought I was in for a night of the filthy love, but he could not salute. I tried everything, but it was still a no-go for lunch. The happiest day of his life, second only to when he got his QVC leaning tower of pizza, salt, and pepper shakers in the mail, was when they invented the Viagra. Things have never been the same. We do it like they do it on the Discovery Channel. All of a sudden, it was like sleeping with the Dirk Diggler from the Boogie Nights movie. He made me dress like Barbara Bush, with a white wig and all. And, well, you can imagine the rest of the story, like the Paul Harvey says. Let's just say there was butter involved, and when I walk, you can hear the ocean.
Rectum. 11:31 at 560. You know the guy in Milwaukee that got beaten up by all them little kids?
Yes.
Guess what?
He's dead.
Dead. This is the case again, as we see all the time, of dark folks getting murdered by other dark folks, only in this case by dark little kids in a very nasty neighborhood in Milwaukee.
Like a feral pack of urchins.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Italian court sentences mafia heads. Palermo, Sicily. I guess we could probably use a little music for this. I gotta get to Sicily sometime before I croak. That's one of my great desires. Sicilia. I want to go to Corleone, you know? In my doddering old age, in about 3-4 years.
Gonna have an orange?
Can't you see me walking with a cane, through Palermo?
And a fedora.
With all them sheep.
Gonna take a bodyguard?
Fabrizio.
With a shotgun?
Prepare la macchina, Fabrizio.
A donde va?
A Palermo court convicted 28 mafiosi yesterday in a spate of 1980s killings and sentenced all but 2 of them to life in prison. Several of those convicted are already serving life terms for other convictions, among them Salvatore Toto Riina, the boss of bosses, who was nabbed in 1993 after 2 decades on the run. He had the runs. Fugitive Bernardo Provenzano was tried in absentia. Considered Riina's successor as head of the Cosa Nostra, he's eluded capture for nearly 40 years. They and the others were convicted of involvement in about 20 murders during the 80s when the mafia clans battled one another for control of the Cosa Nostra, the ANSA news agency Visan. 6 people were acquitted, 2 people who testified for the prosecution received lesser sentences, news reports said. Prosecutor Marcello Musso said he was pleased with the outcome, even though he had sought life terms for 32 of the 34 suspects. It was a victory of justice following a hearing involving sacrifices and difficulties, the AGI news agency quoted Musso as saying, and of course, for justice, you know where we go. Siracusa. The sentences were handed down as prosecutors prepared to put their latest informer on the stand. Antonio Girufre, described as a top aide to Provenzano, was arrested in April and reportedly began cooperating with prosecutors in June, supplying a wealth of information that's already put several dons behind the bars. The ANSA news agency said yesterday that Girufre would make his first appearance before Palermo judges next Tuesday. His lawyer, Lucia Falzoni, told the court Girufre wanted to testify in a double murder trial in which he's been implicated, ANSA said. Girufre was convicted of involvement in the 1992 bombings in Sicily that killed anti-mafia prosecutors Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino. He was sentenced to life in prison for Falcone's killing and 20 years for the blast that killed Borsellino. Sicilian prosecutors are hoping his information may finally lead to Provenzano's capture. After all of this time, all these years.
Good timing.
Oh, man, I just get blown away by that, I feel spent.
And it's on again on VH1 of all places.
Is it really?
They just got done showing the entire thing, or at least 1 and 2
on VH1.
Yeah, don't ask me how.
What is?
Don't ask me the tie-in. I don't know. Nobody figures it out.
Well, hey, it's better than that old crap that they're always showing.
Yeah.
The only thing I like on VH1 is that Inside the Behind.
Inside the Behind, the whatever. Although VH1 Classics is pretty hit and miss. When it hits good.
Actually, I have VH1 Classics in Amsterdam on my dish. How do you like that? Aren't you impressed?
Well, you got a lot of good things over there.
Yes, I do. And the next time when I go back there, I won't be sick all summer long because I won't be doing any shows from over there anymore. You're not going to do any show? No, I'm not. And boy, it sure didn't take long. Once Clarence called me the other day, didn't take long for them to get on the phone with that engineer over there. Okay, take down this and take down that and send it back. And then Clarence is all worried about, well, we'll work out a price on that stuff because I'm keeping the computer and the fax machine over there. I mean, what's the point of sending that back and going out and buying my own,
Right.
So they're going to work out a price. Believe you me, I'm going to want to see invoices. I'm going to check it by like my CPA and the CPU and the ICU, etc. Know what a bunch of grave robbers we're dealing with. Catholic group banned from church, speaking of grave robbers, North Andover, Mass. A bishop banned a Roman Catholic lay group formed in response to the church sex abuse scandal from meeting at a church here. How do you like that? The activities and promotion of the VOTF, Voice of the Faithful, must be curtailed in order to avoid further scandal and polarity among our parishioners. Boston Archdiocese Auxiliary Bishop Emilio S. Alou wrote in a letter. Weren't we just talking about him?
Yes.
Wrote in a letter to the Reverend Paul T. Keyes, pastor of St. Michael's Parish in North Andover. Keyes had supported the group and his sister-in-law as one of its leaders, but he told the group it could not meet on church property this weekend, citing his vow of obedience to his bishop. Voice of the Faithful leaders say they'll contest the ban, which they said is illegal under church and U.S. law. We love our church, and all we ever sought from the beginning was open and honest dialogue. Well, forget about that. Open and honest dialogue in a Catholic church? You people must be crazy. Voice of the Faithful has been labeled by some as a dissent group, but insists it accepts the teaching authority of the Catholic Church and does not seek to eliminate celibacy among priests or allow ordination of women. But Alou wrote that Archdiocese is seeking clarification of all hidden and open issues involved and promoted by VOTF, and until that process is complete, meetings are inappropriate. Go hold your meet someplace else. We'll hold the altar boys' meet. You go hold your meet someplace else, okay?
How dare they dissent?
Yeah. You got some freaking nerve, mister. Don't be questioning the Holy Father. Because he's the ultimate, okay, when it comes to matters of doddering senilities, things like that.
The vicar of Christ on earth.
Bush policy hurt AIDS prevention groups say. This is from yesterday's Washington Post. Proponents of comprehensive sex education accused the Bush administration yesterday of waging a widespread campaign of disinformation and intimidation that is hampering AIDS prevention work across the country. Another good one here for the Bushmeister. The activist said several government audits, aggressive promotion of abstinence-only programs, and a retreat from earlier prevention efforts may put young people and minorities at increased risk of unwanted pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases. Whenever AIDS educators are repressed and harassed and kept from doing their jobs, the epidemic is the big winner, said Joanne Seedy, director of HIV/AIDS programs at Human Rights Watch. Whenever moral judgmentalism and squeamishness are judged by politicians to be more important than preventing a life-threatening catastrophe, the epidemic is the winner. The accusations are part of an intensifying debate that's occurring as Congress considers the president's request to increase abstinence-only funding to $135 million. Administration officials, while arguing that abstinence is the only guaranteed protection, deny that there's any effort to single out liberal organizations that promote safe sex through contraceptive use. We believe young people across the board should abstain until married, said Claude Allen, Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services. If that fails, fidelity is the next safest protection against contracting disease, followed by condom use. In several instances, federal health officials said they're conducting investigations at the behest of lawmakers. The lawmakers have complained about federally funded groups that distribute explicit sexual materials, play down the importance of faith, and heckled HHS Secretary Tommy Cheesehead Thompson at International AIDS Conference in Barcelona. We are obligated under law to follow through, Allen said. Thompson has, however, expanded a review of the San Francisco-based Stop AIDS project to all department-funded HIV/AIDS activities. He's also authorized a new audit of HIV-related projects at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention just months after a $1 million review was completed. He drank water out of a creek. It's an isolated incident. He don't have anthrax. Right. Tommy Cheesehead Thompson, man. And the public out there, yeah. They can't wave that flag fast enough and hard enough and high enough. Wave it long and proud, baby. And the flag too. God. It is just stupefying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The stoop part, underline that part. Stupefying.
Good song.
382 votes on the poll. If we were having an election for governor in Florida right now, this minute, who'd you be voting for? Bill McBride, 207, 207 votes. Jeb Bush, 109. Mo Howard David, 44, as a write-in, I guess. I won't vote 22. I think we'll put Mo on a poll every day, you know what?
Sure.
Just as kind of an outlet for them Mo-lickers out there. Yeah. The more they hear them, the more they get obsessed. They're psychotic about it.
The Mo votes, the better.
That's right. The Mo, the better. That's what Eric says. Eric likes a lot of those extra votes. Of course, Eric, you know, he's under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure up there. He has issues. If you say that one more time about he has issues.
I say that about everybody.
I know it, and I can't stand it. It's another one of those really idiotic expressions, man. I'd rather hear you say eye candy than issues.
Eye candy.
Oh, that sounded so much better than Eric has issues. I mean, you know, other people could have issues, but Eric has issues? Like what? Whether they have like brunch and lunch and dinner all like rolled up into one?
The latest issue of TV Guide?
The latest issue of Gluttons Anonymous? Yeah, Eric has joined an organization. You thought that GA was Gamblers Anonymous, which a lot of people on this station should belong to. He belongs to Gluttons Anonymous. Now, that's bad. Just because he weighs 600 pounds. He lost an ounce or two, you said.
Right, like 60 pounds.
What was he down to now, like 450? Hey, speaking of that, a lot of people out there fat, including me. A lot of us fat folks, I can make fun, but believe me, looking at mirror, it's not a pretty thing. So let's talk about Delights of West Boca. You've also heard how great the Atkins diet works. Well, the place to shop for all your Atkins needs is still the leader in the diet industry. We're talking about Delights of West Boca. Can you imagine a little low-carb, no-fat, delicious scoop of ice cream on a hot day like today? I'd personally rather have like Nestle's Turtle myself. How about over 1,000 low-carb or no-sugar products just ready for you to taste, like with a little hot fudge melted on it? Because at Delights of West Boca, you can always try it before you buy it. And at Delights is 25% off all Atkins products all the time, from candy to cookies to snacks to breads and vitamins. Delights of West Boca has got it all with more great stuff arriving every day, like the brand new controlled carb brownies they just got in 4 delicious flavors like peanut, coconut, classic, and cherry. I bet you when I come back to town in a couple of weeks, I bet you P.D. Lenny will be having a whole bunch of them brownies in there.
Cases of it.
I sure hope you enjoy them. And they taste like your grandma's recipe. Not because they're not going to taste good, but because, you know me and my sensitive stomach. Delights of West Boca on the northeast corner of Glades and 441 in Boca. They're open till 10, 7 days a week. Call 877-LOW-CARB or check them out on the web at lowcarb.com. Delights of West Boca with a staff full of knowledge to put you on the path to losing those fat, disgusting, grotesque pounds that make you unhealthy and look like a tub. Check out all the great stuff at Delight's, your official Atkins Diet Center.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Why don't you go back to Canada, you Jew bastard?
Oh, Canada, you think that you're in luck. Oh! Stole our all-star game, 'cause your own sports really suck. You've got dog sled runs, you shoot moose with guns, what a way to entertain. And you fish for ice, you think hockey's nice, 'cause it's played without a brain.
All right.
Ooh, Canada, oh, nausea. Give me my all-star game, I want it back now. 'Cause baseball in Canada makes me a blow child.
146 at 560 WQM. You better get with it, okay, all you idiots down there, because we got our priorities straight up here. The big issue in the world today. Oh, wait a minute. Source tells the Star McLean and CBC already had that on, or only 25,000 apart. Well, you know something? I could go downtown, like right out on Yonge Street, and collect that 25 grand for Ron McLean in a couple of hours. Of course, I'd probably pocket most of it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, 25 grand Canadian, that's only about 15 grand US. It's small potatoes. So if they're only 25,000 apart, they could like chop off some of that CBC Evening News or some of the crap they put on there, you know, like some of those wild northern west, you know what I'm talking about, where they're out there shooting moose like that bit said. Yeah, that's right. Cut a little bit of that crap out. Just take a couple of the Royal Canadian Mounties and stuff them or something, okay, and give that 25 grand to Ron McLean. We want Ron McLean and Don Cherry on Hockey Night in Canada. Oh! God damn it. We're going to send 75 million emails to the goddamn CBC and to Labatt's and everybody else and all the ships at sea and Foster Hewitt and everybody else too, and Danny Gallivan and Dan Kelly and Bill Hewitt and Jeff Rimmer and Joe Bowen. Keep going, man. Keep going with Joe Bowen. I'm worked up and pissed off about this. I'm serious. The newspapers here are treating this like this is like WW3, man. So you can't relate to it. It's important, heavy-duty stuff.
No. Well, I'll trade you.
Now, let's see. And exactly, that's my point. That's my point. They're up here, they're not invading anybody, they're not dropping La Bamba, they're not planning to assassinate anybody, they're just, we're minding our own business, okay? We're taking care of important business. Hockey season starts in a few days. And that's what's important here is goddamn Labatt's Hockey Night in Canada, god damn it, and Coach's Corner with Ron McLean. Not with some like old fuddy-duddy, like bring back Dave Hodge who's 100 years old, or Brian Williams who's as boring as dog poop. We don't want any of those, or the Scott Oak, who looks like a wooden oak tree. We don't want those assholes on there. We want our boy Ron McLean, don't we? You bet.
Yes.
I'm going to go out there with a goddamn Canadian flag right after the show today. And jump up and down and stand up there at Young and Bloor and just carry on like a maniac. Don't you think that's a good idea? Or I could go up to the viaduct there and like commit suicide. You know who did that? Like a lot of the victims from the child molesters at Maple Leaf Gardens, those kids.
They used the
viaduct. And I think they blocked off the viaduct up there because it became a very popular suicide jumping off point. Which I would have thought that maybe going to the top of the CN Tower. Now, Joe Costello and his buddies went to the CN Tower.
Maybe there isn't access to get to the outside from up there.
And I forgot to ask them, how do you get to the, no, there's an elevator that takes you right up to the top of the CN Tower.
But can you go like out on the railing and?
Like the Space Needle. I don't know. I'm not crazy about heights myself. Feds warn drug makers gifts to doctors may be illegal. Oh, this is great. The Bush administration told doctors yesterday, essentially, buy your own golf balls, get your own balls, concert tickets and vacations, because drug makers who offer such incentives risk running afoul of the law. See, the doctors aren't part of that special group, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, they can do stuff.
You want to know why? Because they don't have any oil.
Oh.
In a draft meant to offer guidance to the industry, the Office of the Inspector General took aim at some common practices and said they could lead to civil or criminal charges. Let's go after those goddamn corrupt doctors is what I say. Suspect activities include paying doctors to act as consultant or researchers in marketing efforts, paying pharmacies or doctors to switch patients from one drug to a competitor, providing scholarships, grants for research, and other gifts with more than normal value to doctors. Just ask your buddy Moses about this. He'll tell you all the scams that are going on.
He has.
Most of which he's probably got his finger in. Now, he's too busy. He's got his finger other places. The guidance comes after years of concern about some drug industry marketing practices. Critics say such tactics influence doctors to prescribe certain drugs and lead to a higher cost for consumers. The draft lays out for the first time in one document what the government expects. And by the way, speaking of higher costs for consumers, drugs up here, first of all, a lot of the stuff that's a prescription down there in the U.S.,
yeah,
over the counter here, like my Allegra.
Excellent.
Claritin, over the counter. And the prescription drugs, most of them a hell of a lot cheaper. Those diabetes testing strips,
yeah,
much cheaper. The draft, now up for 60 days of public comment, says some nominal cost gifts are okay, but does not give specifics. And says it says a voluntary code of ethics adopted this summer by the Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America should be considered a minimum standard. The code says sales reps can buy doctors meals on occasion, but only in conjunction with medical education, and only at the pizza loft. Golf balls or bags emblazoned with drug company logos are not allowed. So if your doctor's got like some company's logo on his balls, dump them. Neither are tickets to entertainment events, cash payments, or other incentives given for prescribing products. So if you're getting Panther tickets, your doctor, then dump them. The draft guidance also says drug companies can face charges for reporting average wholesale prices that differ substantially from what is actually charged and touting those prices in marketing. That's because the government uses those prices on a few drugs covered by Medicare. If the drugs are sold for less, doctors can bill for the higher amount and keep the difference. Ready for that?
I heard you.
It's a tactic drug makers use to lure doctors to their products, costing taxpayers $1 billion a year. The government estimates grave robbers, butchers, murderers. Am I getting excited or what?
Pill pushers.
4 Canadians have been placed on alert and told to prepare to head for Iraq as part of the UN weapons inspection team, a Canadian diplomat says. How do you like that? As part of the inspection team. Not to blow anybody up, not to shoot Saddam or Osama, your mom or anybody else, as part of the inspection team. And I'll guarantee the Bushies aren't too happy about that. Have you noticed how pissed off they were about that?
I know. You're ruining all our plans.
Hans Blick says, we're going back in there. We got an agreement, and not so fast. We want to see those 7 palaces, baby. That's where he's got all the good stuff. That's where he's got all the good porno flicks, at those palaces. Speaking of scumbags, Viking star charged with marijuana possession. Minnesota Viking star receiver Randy Moss was charged yesterday with possession of a small amount of marijuana, adding to charges last week that he pushed a traffic officer with his car. The new petty misdemeanor count carries a fine of up to $200, but it could also lead to a suspension or fine from the NFL. Police said they found a marijuana cigarette in Moss's car after he was arrested September 24th. Moss was driving in downtown Minneapolis when the traffic officer stepped in front of his car to stop him from making an illegal turn. She was slightly injured when she fell off the car. Moss spent the night in jail, was charged the next day with careless driving and failure to obey a traffic officer, both misdemeanors. The complaint said the marijuana amounted to just under a gram. Moss has said the marijuana did not belong to him, and he allowed other people to use his car recently. Moss underwent another test by the NFL after his arrest last week. NFL spokesman Greg Aiello said the league would review the case under the policy of drug-related violation of laws grounds for disciplinary action, Aiello said. If Moss tests positive for banned or illegal substance or is convicted on possession charge, he could be subjected to fines and suspensions by the league. He was allowed to play last Sunday's 48-23 loss at Seattle. And like they say in China, Gornish Telfin. Didn't help. 403 votes on our governor poll. 222 for Bill McBride. 111 for Jeb the Bushmeister. That sounds like 222 and 111. Isn't that interesting? Mm-hmm. Mo Howard David, 46, and I won't vote 24. Walt Disney Company Chairman and Chief Executive Michael Eisner yesterday said reports of a possible combination of Disney's ABC News Division with AOL Time Warner Inc. CNN News Division are very premature. Thank the Lord. Thank
you, God.
Both ABC and CNN have had conversations about more efficient ways to deliver the news, Eisner said, and he wouldn't give the chance of such a deal happening more than 50-50 odds. However, Eisner said that putting together the broadcast and cable news operations would fit in with Disney's way of running its divisions. He pointed out that the management in charge of daytime programming was also responsible for its SoapNet cable channel, just as those who run the Toon Disney cable channel also run the ABC Saturday morning programming. Eisner made his comments at the Goldman Sachs Communicopia conference in New York. The Disney CEO said the company would also consider a sale of its Anaheim Angels baseball team and the Mighty Ducks hockey team and Brian Murray. Disney's results this year were hurt by a weak economy, a drop in visitors at Disneyland and Disney World after last year's terrorist attacks, and weak ratings at ABC. The Disney board approved last week an action plan focused on accelerating growth at the company. Eisner says, noting the company has reduced its overhead and improved its margin. So it's only 50-50. You know what that means? It means it's a done deal. And you want to know why? Because they lie a lot. It's just like, radio management. They lie a lot. Oh, we're not for sale. And then like a week later, we just got bought by who is it going to buy us?
Infinity.
No. The other one. I got it here somewhere at the bottom of my pile. I kept it. That outfit that we never heard of before for some strange reason.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, there's my poster thing for Tom Welling that Carlos sent me. I hear Carlos has got a couple of those.
A couple of
what I'm hearing. Got a couple of them big Tom Welling posters.
Something.com, Visicom?
No. Michael Jackson to start new record label. Jacko's back. Are we starting a new record label with the backing of a company that changed its name today from ID Medical Group to Opus Media? A music business website, HitsDailyDouble.com, speculated Jackson might be involved when Opus issued a press release yesterday stating they'd gone into business with a major pop star, but a check by Fox 411 into the financial filings of ID Medical shows that back in May when Jackson was freaking out about money and Tommy Mottola, he was busy making the deal with Opus Media's Robert Gordon. We don't have time for that, okay? Because our noon to 1 hour is coming up. It's Neil's Bits every Wednesday from noon to 1, where we sit back and relax and play a lot of good stuff, give you a few chuckles.
And
George loves it, and Carlos loves it, and I really love it. I sit back here thinking about making plans for lunch. Oh, and also, just to point this out, Red Dragon is the last meal for Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter, and that comes out on Friday, right? Yes.
Okay.
You're just not up on these things. You better get your Red Dragons, man. The Oscar-winning actor first played Hannibal the Cannibal in 91 Silence of the Lambs, then revisited the role in last year's Hannibal. On Friday, like I said, he completes the trilogy with Red Dragon, and that's it. He says at last night's premiere. People are saying this is the best one. He said, and I agree. I love Silence of the Lambs, but this one has something else. No more Hannibal movies, no more, he said. His next film probably will be for Dragon director Brett Ratner playing Superman's father, Jor-El. Remember Superman's father?
Yes.
Is that the role that Marlon Brando played?
Yes.
Well, I got news for you, mister. He's good, Anthony Hopkins, but he ain't no Marlon Brando.
No.
Can you see him playing in The Godfather?
Playing what? Don Corleone?
4 minutes till noon at 560 WQAM. Hey, if your carpets took a beating during the summertime because of the rain and the schmutz and all the other crap and the kids being out of school, here's the answer for you now that the fall is here. Pick up the phone and call the experts at Dry Concepts. They'll never let you down. They understand you put a good investment into those carpets, a fortune. So instead of spending even more on brand new carpeting, get the old ones in good shape looking just like brand new with Dry Concepts' exclusive patented dry cleaning method that sucks out. When in doubt, they suck it out. The deep down dirt that's in the fibers of your carpet leaves them looking just like brand new, smelling lemony fresh, and people will be amazed, and so will you. It's just how fantastic your carpeting looks. And they give you a written guaranteed price before they start the job. Concepts is here. Once you use them the first time, you'll understand why I've had them in my home for over 20 years now. And they also do a stupendous job at a fair price of cleaning your furniture and drapery, spot dyeing, fiber protection, carpet repairs, in-plant oriental rug service, that's second to none, deodorization, and if a flood strikes you, water damage restoration, second to nobody anywhere. So pick up that phone and call Dry Concepts today. They'll never disappoint. In Broward, call 954-370-7778. 954-370-7778. In Dade or Palm Beach, it's a toll-free call, 1-800-248-5071. 1-800-248-5071. Clean today, you can entertain tonight with Dry Concepts.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hi, this is Steve Goldstein, but you can call me Geldy. Whenever I'm in town, I listen to... Wait a minute, I am in town. It's the 12 to 1 hour. Dot! Geldy, talking on a sports show, trying to be macho. Your voice sounds just like a 7-year-old girl, a little sports hole shill. What else are you there for? Geldy, talking like a baby who needs a little training. Why can't you understand? You don't sound like a man. Remove the rubber bands that choke your scrotum. Geldy, your lucky management don't care. 'Cause Geldy, you don't belong there on the air. And Geldy, the sports can wait till your voice cracks. 'Cause anyone who sounds like that should find another job.
Yes.
And they should only take you back when both your BBs drop. Oh, Geldy, when you gonna grow up? You make us want to throw up. You silly squeaky poo. Go to broadcasting school. Your prepubescent voice makes you sound like a putz.
Uh-huh.
You're a
sexy for my wov. Too sexy for my wov. Wov's going to weave me. Hello. I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. So sexy it hurts. Ow. I'm too sexy for that wabbit. Too sexy for that wabbit. That wabbit's gonna get it. I'm a hunter. I hunt wabbits. I do my little thing in the forest. Ooh, I'm a hunter. I hunt wabbits. I do my little thing in the forest. I'm too sexy for my bullets. Too sexy for my bullets. I put bullets in my rifle. I'm too sexy for this forest. Shh, be very, very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits. I'm a hunter. I hunt wabbits. I do my little thing in the forest. I'm a hunter. I hunt wabbits. I do my little thing in the forest. I'm too sexy for that wabbit. Pardon me, Doc. Are you talking about me? Oh, yes. I'm going to blast you and use you for swippers. My stars. You are a mental case. And you better put that gun down, laughing boy, before you hurt somebody. Hasta la vista, you little hairball. Agony, 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 agony.
Tonight at 9 on the Food Network, it's Emerald Dice Clay.
Okay. So tonight, we're gonna kick it up a couple of fucking notches. What the you clapping for, honey? I ain't cooked yet.
Chef Emerald Dice Clay, leather-studded apron and all, shows you how to do things in the kitchen you never dreamed of.
Today, I'm gonna show you how to smoke fish. Where's my fucking zip phone?
And nobody reads a recipe like Emerald Dice Clay.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to make themselves some stew. And just like an oven, Jill needed some lovin', so he put his meat in there, too. Oh, is that genius?
It's the hottest cooking show on cable.
Hey, take a look at this foot long, would you? Come on, baby. You know you want to grab my wiener.
That's Emerald Dice Clay, right after Iron Chef.
Bunch of f***ing snapperheads. You can blindfold these people with dental floss.
Only on the f***ing Food Network.
Now, in video stores everywhere, from the people who brought you the Frugal Gourmet Cooks with Wine, it's the Frugal Gourmet Cooks with Boys. Yes, the Frugal Gourmet Cooks Italian.
Hey, little man, I've got some lovely sausage for you.
The Frugal Gourmet Cooks Chinese.
Today I'm going to make some young guy.
And of course, the Frugal Gourmet Cooks Greek.
Whoa.
Yes, it's your warm and fuzzy old friend, the Frugal Gourmet, like you've never seen him before. He may be frugal with his money, but not with his sauce. The Frugal Gourmet Cooks with Boys, only $19.95 at a video store near you. And don't forget, coming next fall, it's the Frugal Gourmet Cooks with Malt Liquor.
Being all natural isn't as easy as it used to be. But we haven't changed a thing at Frucker's Jams and Jellies. Just all natural goodness in every jar of Frucker's since 1920. And we still make our jams the old-fashioned way, with each batch stirred with care by Mother Frucker herself. She makes sure that only the freshest fruit and pure cane sugar go into our jams. 'Cause you see, being all natural is what Frucker's is all about. And Frucker's just wouldn't be Frucker's without old Mother Frucker, who today has got a bunch of little Fruckers who love her jam too. So the next time you want the best, look for Frucker's with Old Mother Frucker right on the label. 'Cause with a name like Frucker's, it has to be good.
Perhaps one of the most interesting words in the English language today is the word f***. Out of all of the English words that begin with the letter F, f*** is the only word that is referred to as the F word. It's the one magical word. Just by its sound can describe pain, pleasure, hate, and love. As most words in the English language, is derived from German, the word frichen, which means to strike. In English, falls into many grammatical categories. As a transitive verb, for instance, John Shirley. Its meaning's not always sexual. It can be used as an adjective, such as, John's doing all the work. As part of an adverb, Shirley talks too much. As an adverb enhancing an adjective, Shirley is beautiful. As a noun, I don't give a As part of a word, abso-fucking-lutely, or incredible. And as almost every word in a sentence, the fuckers. As you must realize, there aren't too many words with the versatility of as in these examples describing situations such as fraud. I got at the used car lot. Dismay. Oh, it. Trouble. I guess I'm really now. Aggression. Don't with me, buddy. Dismissal. Why don't you go outside and play hide and go yourself? I'm sure you can think of many more examples. Say it loudly and proudly. You.
Amen. It's 9 past noon at QAM. And by the way, I should point out to you that, did you ever see the video version of that where the guy actually reads that thing?
No. There's a video?
We have a channel called Movieola where they have like short vignettes, short condensed movies, and short little things. And a couple of weeks ago, I forgot to tell you this, there was it's an old film thing, like probably made in the 50s, I guess. And it's a guy in a black suit, very distinguished looking guy, and he comes out, and it's longer than that. It goes on at greater length. That's kind of like an excised version of one that we played there.
There must be a way to get that.
You have to see it to believe it. Anyway, this is a good fax from Bill.
Yeah.
It says maybe you should write that book, The Best of Meals. See, on our website on neilrogers.com, Eric's got it is amusing. I'll say that. I'll give him credit for that. The Best of Meals, How I Attack the Buffet by Neil Rogers. He's actually got like a book cover on there with the real books that we suggest you read.
And people are believing it.
And he says, I smell a bestseller. I went to the bookstore and tried to order it, says Bill. Well, why wouldn't they believe it? I mean, it's there with all the other books, and it's got the cover of a book. And I think he's got a good idea. I might just write the goddamn thing.
You oughter. You can ghostwrite it. Just answer a bunch of questions for some guy. And
wouldn't that be a great name for a book?
Sure.
The Best of Meals, How I Attack the Buffet by Neil Rogers. P.S. Why is the best radio host you not in Nationwide? Fire your agent. Because my agent's a putz, Bill. That's the answer to that. Okay, he's a wannabe. He wants to be a baseball player. He wants to be a talk show host. He wants to be a lot of things, but he's not a radio agent. Just ask George. He'll tell you. Oh, like I said, George can't say enough. Well, I'm just telling you. He's like, he wants to play in the big leagues with the big boys. Everybody else in his business who's on doing talk for like 10 minutes a day is like syndicated on 100 stations minimum.
Right.
And then this, this clown. Just ask my good friend Lynn Samuels in New York. She'll tell you this show ought to be syndicated. She loves me like crazy. And it's mutual. And her website, by the way, has got great stuff on it. LynnSamuels.com. It's 11 past noon at 560 WQAM. There's never been a better time to purchase or a new home or refinance your existing home, which is exactly what I was just going to say. How about this rate? How does this sound? 3.95%. That's right. The Financial Group can offer you an unprecedented 3.95% by picking up your phone right now, calling them at 1-800-940-LEND. That's 1-800-940-5363. The money you're going to save is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Like I said, think about it. You can get yourself a $100,000 loan for only $450 a month, or a $200,000 loan for just $950 a month. The process is simple. You'll save thousands of dollars each year. So pick up that phone right now. Grab it. And the phone, too, and call our good friends at Financial Group toll-free, 1-800-940-LEND. There's never been a better or smarter time to get you a low-interest rate, so call Financial Group. Tell them Todd Dreck told you to call. You'll be on your way to big savings. And, by the way, Todd also gave you the name of Steve M. and Davey. He'll give you his phone number and address and tell you where you can get some really good crap. Financial Group, they're an equal housing lender. Credit restrictions do apply, and rates are subject to change. So call them today, toll-free, 1-800-940-LEND. That's 1-800-940-5363.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
And they don't come any better than Neil Rogers.
Oh!
Kind of a fact. It's something they can't seem to hide. Kind of a fact. they can't admit that they like guys. No. Steve Young, Richard Gere, and Tommy Cruise have got the type of neither should bring a women. No reason that there's no very hard to say. Just silly homos. They're all gay. They're all gay. Kind of a fad. What Michael Jackson liked to do. Kind of a fad. Who's he kidding? Is it you? No, girl, and Sidney Crawford, Fabio, and I'm really into women. Always well and don't forget Louise Miguel. They're silly homos. They're all gay. They're all gay. They're all gay.
Yes.
Rectum.
I was riding on a train to Austin, Texas. Oh, when a very lovely lady sat next to me. When she got up to eat, she asked if I would hold her sight. I was more than happy to, and now there's more I'd like to do. I wanna kiss her, but
Rectum.
she won't let me. I wanna whisper sweet nothings in her ear.
Yes.
I wanna hold her behind closed doors and more.
Increíble.
I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me. When she returned, she said she was an actress. She showed me an album of pictures of her opening, which she'd been sitting on. She seemed as sweet as she could be, but I could clearly see she was the kind of girl who stole men's hearts, then wrecked them. I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me. I wanna whisper sweet nothings in her ear. I wanna hold her behind closed doors and more. I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me. Well, I'll never forget that train ride down to Austin. We shared a seat and we shared our tales. But as my heart tried to leave her behind, regrets are all I find. 'Cause I'd hoped I'd get that girl in the end. I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me.
No.
I wanna whisper sweet nothings in her ear.
Rectum.
I wanna hold her behind closed doors and more. I wanna kiss her, but I wanna kiss her, but
Yes.
I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me.
There's a Middle East nut who needs a kick in the butt, Hussein. Thinks his plan's gonna work. This guy is really a jerk, Hussein. Watch those gas prices fly. wipe this crap off the mat. Hussein. For a while it was calm, and then this guy named Saddam Hussein took his show on the road, got everybody PO'd. Hussein. Now he's getting his dues for causing everyone's blues. Hussein. Figured he had it made, sure hope he likes the blockade. Hussein. Needs a slap, wipe this crap off the mat. Hussein. Needs a slap, wipe this crap off the mat. Hussein. Insane. Hussein.
This is Rush Limbaugh, servant of humanity, talk show host, hemorrhoid sufferer. Folks at over 300 pounds, I know the agony of this kind of dilemma. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you there's help. With new Preparation Rush and my Rush to Excellence suppositories. Now you can end the pain and itching of hemorrhoidal tissue. Just look for my picture on the box of suppositories and the applicator tube. Another fine product from OIB, the Obesity in Broadcasting Network.
And now here's Timmy Dean, founder of Timmy Dean Pork Sausage, with a few words about new Timmy Dean bagel sandwiches.
Hello, I'm Timmy Dean. You know, if someone had told me 25 years ago that I'd be making bagels, I'd have said, huh? That's Jew food, isn't it? But times have changed, and I guess I've got to change with them. But I don't have to like it. You people want your bagels, I'll give you your bagels. With a big old greasy slab of Timmy Dean pork sausage on it. New Timmy Dean non-kosher bagel sandwiches. If you're Jewish, you can buy them. You just can't eat them.
New Timmy Dean bagel sandwiches. There's a little bit of bigot in every bite.
I like women. I mean, I love women. But sometimes I can't find a woman who likes me. That's why I'm glad there's a drive-up Jack in the Box in my neighborhood.
The new Jack in the Box Sperm Bank. Perfect for the guy who can't find a woman when he needs one.
We're out here on the streets of the city asking people what they'd do for a Klondike bar. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah?
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
I don't know.
Would you kiss me?
Kiss you?
Just a quick peck on the cheek. It's for a Klondike bar.
Okay. Okay, give me my Klondike bar.
Oh, you can do better than that.
What do you mean?
Kiss me full on the lips.
On the lips?
For a Klondike bar.
Okay. Now, give me that Klondike bar. People are starting to look.
All right, I'll give you your Klondike bar, but first you have to kiss me open mouth with your tongue tickling my uvula.
Ugh.
It's for a Klondike bar.
Oh, God. Oh, okay.
Yuck!
What are you looking at, lady? It's for a Klondike bar.
Yes, about that.
What?
Well, you see, I don't actually have a Klondike bar.
You don't?
No, but it was very nice meeting you. Very, very nice.
I'm going to kill you.
Chocolate-coated ice cream, so rich and thick, there's no room for a stick. Who would you do for a Klondike bar?
And now, Language Lab, the show that teaches you a foreign language in less than 60 seconds. Today's lesson, Greek. Lesson 1, strawberry pie.
Strawberry pie.
Lesson 2, apple pie.
Apple pie.
Lesson 3, pumpkin pie.
Punky pie.
Customer, what kind of pie do you have? Answer.
Apple pie, strawberry, and punky.
Language Lab is a public service and may not be copied or authorized for resale. Thank you.
You're welcome. 12:25 at 560 WQM. It's our weekly Wednesday noon to 1 bonanza here. Did he say bonanza? Oh, speaking of that, don't forget, look for the QM van this afternoon, 4 to 6 at the Publix located at 10755 Northwest 58th Street. Miguel will be there in the van. Stop by to win prizes, and the first 60 people to come in and say, Cash Bonanza, will win free scratch-off tickets, compliments to the Florida Lottery. 461 votes on a poll. If the election for governor being held today, right now, who'd you vote for? Bill McBride, 257. Jeb Bush, 122. Mo Howard David, 53. Wouldn't vote, 29. 29 recalcitrant schmucks out there who want, you can lead them to water, but you can't make them vote. Hey, does this sound like you? Overworked?
Yes.
Underpaid?
Yes.
Stuck at a dead-end job?
Uh-huh.
Underappreciated? Do yourself a favor and pick up the phone and call our good, close personal pallies at Fast Train, toll free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. The demand for certified computer professionals has never been bigger and better than it is right now, and Fast Train can help you achieve that new career and start making some serious cash in as little as 4 months. Just imagine how much you'll have to spend at, how much cash you'll have to spend at Steve M's house in Davie, right? When you have a great new job, that's right. You can buy it anyway. Fast Train is South Florida's largest certified Microsoft training center with locations all over town. There's one in Pembroke Pines, one in Fort Lauderdale, one in Kendall, and one in Miami. And Fast Train offers convenient day and evening and weekend classes. Fast Train's got a full-time job placement department with over 30-year experience placing folks. So if you're underpaid, overworked, underappreciated, or stuck at a dead-end job working for some schmuck, don't wait another minute. Pick up the phone and call Fast Train at 866 Fast Train. Think about it. In just 4 short months, you could be on your way to becoming a high-paid computer professional in a career with great earning potential. So take it from us. Pick up that phone and call Fast Train right now, 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. Be sure and tell them that Steve M. and Davey told you to call, 1-866-FAST-TRAIN, or check them out on the web if you like at fasttrain.com.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The Weaver don't make mistakes. Oh!
Hello, you have reached Dickey's Workers' Choice Catalog and Information Line. To speak with a representative or if you have a rotary phone, please stay on the line. Thank you.
Transferring to an operator. Please wait.
Dickey's Customer Service, this is Luann. How may I help you?
Yeah, my Luann, hi.
Hi.
You like Dickies?
Sure.
I guess a lot of women do, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I believe so.
My woman says she loves to get Dickies.
I see.
She likes a lot of them. Yeah. Can understand some gay guys like Dickies.
Well, I really don't know. I've never really thought about that.
What's the biggest Dickies you've seen?
Well, sir, we go up to a 72 waist.
Oh, my God. You like little Dickies, too?
Sir,
I think my girl basically likes big Dickies.
well, is there a point to this conversation, sir?
Yeah, just that I get to say Dickie a lot on the phone.
Were you wanting to place an order, sir?
For what?
For clothing?
What? I want to talk about Dickies.
Well, sir, that's what we carry is clothing.
Huh? And Bicky Dickie. Mm-hmm.
Sir, if there's no other reason that you're calling this...
My mom liked Dickies. A lot of women like Dickies.
Sir, I'm going to disconnect.
No, talk about Dickie.
When I'm watching basketball on TV, one man is annoying me, yelling words of nonsense, Dickie V. And when someone goes baseline, he starts screaming things so nasally, screeching like a banshee, Dickie V. Dickie V. Dickie V. Dickie V, yeah, Dickie V. He should shut his pie hole, Dickie V.
Yes.
And when he is on camera, the glare from his head is blinding me. Where did this guy come from, Dickie V? Everything is awesome, and everyone's his BTV. Wish he'd keep his trap shut, Dickie V. Dickie V. Dickie V. Dickie V. Yeah, Dickie V. Giving me a headache, Dickie V. Dickie V. Dickie V. Dickie V. Yeah, Dickie V. It really is annoying, Dickie V.
What I got here is a new dance. Some people call it a barn dance. I call it a dirty square dance. Up with the petticoat, down with the pants, in with the peckery, everybody dance. Girls with rags on up against the walls. Guys with a heart on promenade the halls. Girls grab your partners firmly by the balls. Drag them down the length of the halls. Make 'em holler, make 'em shout. Put your pretty ass up against his snout. First lady goes, second lady pass, third lady's finger up the fourth guy's ass. Finger out, promenade the halls, now release the poor guy's balls. Down with the petticoat, up with the pants, this is the end of the dirty square dance. Do-si-do, I reckon. I'm tired now. I think I'm gonna go grab me some French fried potatoes.
Now, how the Clintons spent their first night in Chappaqua.
I'll get it, honey. No, I'll get it. Don't worry about it. Just relax.
I'm coming. Hi there.
Well, hello, Mr. President. I'm Sarah Rubin.
Yes, you are.
Yes, my family lives in that Victorian house across the street.
Oh, it's a very nice house, and you have very nice legs.
Well, thank you, sir. And welcome to our little town of Chappaqua. Hope your family will enjoy living here.
I think I will.
My daughter, Amanda, and I have baked you this little welcome to the neighborhood. It's our family recipe for pineapple upside-down cake.
I'd like to take your pineapples anyway, upside down, sideways.
Well, thank you, Mr. President.
Oh, bye-bye, then.
No, it was just a lady from next door. That's all. I said I'll get it. Just sit down and shut up, will you, please? Now, there are boxes all over the place.
I can't believe it. Well, hello.
Hello, Mr. Clinton. I'm Elaine Krifkin.
Keep your voice down. Are you the escort?
No, sir.
I'm sorry, Miss Crickets. What can I do you for?
Well, I just wanted to welcome you to the neighborhood.
Well, the escort's not here yet, so if you want to jump on old Charlie.
No, sir.
All right, well, I'll see you later, Eileen. Whatever your name is.
No, it's just another neighbor. You gonna make some food or what? Oh, sweet Jesus.
Hey, the doorbell's going crazy.
I'll get it.
Great Caesar's ghost.
Hi, Billy. It's me, Monica.
Good God Almighty.
What do you think of my new bod?
Well, what are you doing here?
Well, I bought that house next door with my Jenny Craig money.
Oh, my God.
We'll be seeing a lot of each other in the year 2000.
No!
Now, Bill Clinton for PU.
Good morning. Allow me to introduce my new business venture, Pardon University. I don't care what you've done. Murder, embezzlement. If you're a cop that made a woman walk home naked. If you've got the loot, I'll give the charges the boot. Now, even though I'm no longer the president of the United States, and I possess no real power, I have found a way to jerry-rig the system.
I stole a diamond from the Zales jewelry store.
How much you got?
About $1,000.
Pardon you!
Yeah! Hey, I embezzled $600 million from my brokerage firm.
Jackpot! How much you got?
$10,000.
Pardon you!
I lopped off my husband's willy.
Ooh, no can do, Mamacita. Try Jacoby and Myers.
Pardon University is not affiliated with any institution of higher learning and may be illegal in most states.
If you've got the bread, the charges are dead. Pardon you!
Big news, boys and girls, big news. CBC confirms negotiations to resume with Ron McLean's agent. How do you like that, huh?
I feel better.
Well, they're only $25,000 apart. You can come up with that, you and Carlos.
I'll cough it right up.
$25,000 Canadian, it's only $15,000 a year US. No problem, pocket change. In fact, when that next bonus of yours comes through.
When?
Like I said, no problem. Maybe he'll be there October 10, whatever the hell the date is. He'll be October 12. Ron McLean, Don Cherry. That's our problem. We got it solved. We got it licked. 21 till 1 at 560 WQM, 476 votes on our gubernatorial election poll. Bill McBride, 267. Jeb Bush, 125. Mo Howard, David, 54. And I won't vote, 30. George is having Strictly Editions do a thing in his house.
Bathroom. It's great.
A new bathroom, and they're doing a great job. And if you're one of those people out there who loves your home but you need more room, maybe you had like an unexpected baby like George did, and you're pretty pissed off about it. But anyway, do the smart thing called Strictly Editions. If you're converting a carport or patio into living space, if you went into business for yourself and want to make a home orifice, call the experts at Strictly Editions because they'll do a spectacular, fantastic job for you. They're your one-stop shop, more space for your place with an absolutely, positively worry-free approach to expanding your living space. The no-shows you're used to by other contractors won't happen. Incomplete work, no chance. No unexpected bills, no worries about the job not getting done right, and they take care of every last detail. They draw up the blueprints, they get the building permits, handle all the inspections. Strictly Editions has got that easy 5-step approach to total customer satisfaction. Just ask P.D. Lenny, he'll tell you what they are. First of all, they call to schedule a free project evaluation appointment at your home, where a project estimator will determine the exact scope of your addition. Number 2, schedule a bid appointment in their convenience showroom, where you'll get a detailed proposal and an exact price for your work. Third, select your finishing touches, go to contract. Fourth, review the design and architectural drawings. And then fifth, sit back with a big smile on your lazy puss and relax as your dream edition moves ahead on schedule with unbeatable quality. Check them out on the Yellow Pages. They serve all of Broward and South Palm Beach County, and they do a stupendous job for you. Call Strictly Editions at 954-791-8100. That's 954, say it again, 954-791-8100. They're licensed, they're insured professionals who care about doing a super job for you, and they will. 954-791-8100. Be sure and tell them that Old Neil, P.D. Lenny, and Jorge told you to call Strictly Editions.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Oh! WQAM!
I am Mo Howard David, decrepit and I'm ancient. All over my old face are blue and reddish purple veins. I don't know why they hate me, or why they always rate me. It must be 'cause I got these blue and reddish purple veins.
A vein mark on my arm like a Rannoch-Nally Mapalakawat. I got veins on my nose and nobody knows that under my clothes I wear pantyhose. But that don't mean that I'm gay. If you think my arms are bad, you ought to see my legs. I might as well keep them smooth and shaved to show a little class the next time I'm raping it. I could go to a surgeon, but that gives me the shivers. I would not want to walk out looking like Joan Rivers. Where am I? I fired the beast, the fat little freak. I did him a favor. Now he can't afford to eat. The reason I dismissed that stinking fat bastard is because he wouldn't shut up, and he can't play canasta. Hey, somebody talking over there? Nobody talks when I rap. I rap, then you talk. Hey, look at me. I'm hip, hip. I ain't no square. I'm a ding-dong Betty, man. I'm really dead. I fire anyone I want. I don't care. Especially if they make me flip my wig made of smelly green hair. I got fired myself. It even happens to the greats. Westwind once said, you get out of here or else we break your legs. So now I sit by the pool. Life's as good as it gets. With my paladin cocktail, placing bets on the Jets. In paradise. Paradise. I don't kiss nobody's ass in paradise. I'll be schlepping down the Skoogans when I get the chance, but the cleaners aren't ready with my lime green pants. How long does it take? Guilty calling complaint. It was just a little thought, so what, I left this thing. You think that's funny? Want a knuckle sandwich, buddy? I can do what I want, because the management loves me.
Can I tell you something, Mo? Something you ought to know. For the longest time, I wanted you to be my hoe.
You ain't my type, pal. Now answer straight. Tell no. What are you doing?
I won't take no for an answer.
Get out of here.
Come on.
Not you.
Get out of here. Get up, bitch.
My anus, my anus, my anus smells. My anus, my anus, my anus smells. My anus, my anus, my anus smells. Focus on your ass. My anus, my anus, my anus smells. Hi, kids. Do y'all like cutting little stinkers? That funny little sound that comes right out your sphincter? Want to copy me and do exactly like I do? Get paid for writing little songs about boo-boo? My brain's all gone. I'm trying to get my groove on, but I can't figure out which Spice Girl I'm gonna fart on. And Dr. Dre asked, yo, man, did you pass gas? Hell no. Well, why do I smell ass? Man, you low class. Well, since age 12, it seemed like I always smelled. I thought ripping gases and tooting was pretty swell. I got pissed off when I took my jeans off and farted so hard it turned my underwear backwards like crisscross. And every night I'm like, oh, dinner last. Then fart out my ass faster than a fat bitch who ate too fast. Smell this, honey. Yo, dude, wait a minute, that's my girl, cuz. I don't give a f***. God sent me to stink the world up. My anus, my anus, my anus, smells. My anus, my anus, my anus, smells. My English teacher wanted me kicked out back in junior high. Said the problem was something crawled up my ass and died. I shot him in the face with my vapor. The worst happened later, when I covered his desk with used toilet paper. Walked in the strip club, my intestines were filled up. Moved the bartender, took a dump in a tip cup. Went over to a dancer, had her fucking her garter. She lifted her leg up, and I knew she was a farter. 99% of my life I was lied to. I just found out my mom's got more gas than I do. I told her I'd grow up to be a famous rapper, make a record about strange noises made on the crapper. You know you blew dirt when the women rushed to leave. You tried to hold it back, but your butt needed relief. This guy at White Castle said it was pretty cool, but I had to go drop the kids off at the pool. My anus, my anus, my anus, smells shit. My anus, my anus, my anus, smells shit. My anus, my anus, my anus, smells shit.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. My beliefs are what's required to avoid a lake of fire. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours.
Yes.
Why, my religion advocates bigotry and racial hate. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. What we like about it best, I fondle boys and wear a dress. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. We have no respect for women. Drive a cab to make a living. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. Chupacabra, spooky ghosts, we slaughter pigs and dogs and goats. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We wear beanies and pigtails and never ever pay retail. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We knock on doors to bother you like Fuller Blush to spew our views. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours.
We wear ties and ride our bikes and get to marry lots of wives. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We don't want to use our brains. We're mindless lemmings on parade. My religion's better than yours.
All right. 12:51 at 560. You know something? This noon to 1 hour Wednesday, I'm starting to really like it. I don't like it. I love it.
I love it.
I feel like Pablo Picasso here,
I'm
you know?
singing along, chilling, surfing
I'm
the
sitting
web.
here like putting together a magical masterpiece every Wednesday. Anyway, if you find yourself looking at your head in the mirror and you wonder, speaking of masterpiece, if you see just the opposite, like Mung, all the hair is gone, it's vanished, it probably went down the drain, probably flew out the window, it's probably on the sidewalk somewhere. Now the choice is yours. You can have a mousy-looking wig. In fact, if you want to see what a mousy-looking piece looks like, go to WQAM.com, click on Talk Host, and look at Mo. And you'll notice all the gray on the sides, and then that kind of like puce-looking animal that's in the middle there. What color would you call that? Brindle? I think it's like brindle brown.
Chartreuse.
Oh, man. chartreuse means lose. But if you want to be a winner, if you want to get your hair back and have it look great, the natural hairline system from my close personal buddy, Chuck Alfieri, that's the only way to go. That's why even the richest slobs in the world go to Charlie Alfieri, because no amount of money in the universe can get you a better looking piece than the natural hairline system, because it looks like the hair is growing out of your scalp instead of like a farm animal crawled up on your head and died. Pick up that phone and call toll-free, 1-800-321-2413. You've got nothing to lose but the bald spot, because there's no obligation. If you wear it for 30 days and don't love the way it looks and feels and smells, if you don't get at least a little head 2-3 times a day, then return it for a full refund. And when you mention Neil Rogers, you get a $200 discount as well. And don't forget, Charlie also services and repairs all kinds of hair systems while you wait, and for only $25 to $30. So pick up that phone and get some hair back the smart way from Chuck Alfieri. Call 1-800-321-2413 or log on to their website if you like at charlesalfieri.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Yeah, what happened there, George?
I know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
If your toothpaste doesn't taste great, your kids don't brush long enough, which could lead to ugly tartar buildup. The solution? Regular checkups and brushing with New Crust, the tartar-controlled toothpaste laced with crack cocaine.
Hey, son, almost done in there?
Brushing, can't talk, brushing.
Crust is not only clinically proven, it's also highly addictive, so your kids will brush and brush and brush. And brush and brush and brush.
Come on, Billy, it's been 45 minutes.
Brushing, 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 brushing.
If you're not careful, you're going to wear those teeth down to little nubbins.
Oh, God, no!
What's wrong, son?
Almost out of crust.
Hook your kids on a healthy habit for life. Brushing with New Crust with crack cocaine.
Sure, I'm going to be late for work now, but it's good to see Billy brushing.
Get out, old man. This is a carjacking.
Billy, what are you doing?
I said out.
Oh. Billy, where are you going?
Got us all the car to get more crust.
New Crust toothpaste laced with crack cocaine. Recommended by 9 out of 10 drug addicts.
All right.
Would they curse my name?
Yes.
If I farted in heaven, would I stand the shame? If I farted in heaven, would the raunchy smell send me straight to hell? Or can anybody smell up in heaven? Does gas act the same? Does it linger in heaven? Would you be ashamed to pull my finger in heaven? I'll know these things when the fat lady sings, 'cause I'll be the one who brings tears to heaven. 'Cause I know I'll be the one who brings tears to heaven.
You know, I'm not impressed easily, but I'll tell you something. I'm blown away. Look at the timing on this.
Bye. The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. You know, they say the body is 90% water. As for WQAM,